let's go ahead and get our synopsis and predictions out of the way, and then we'll get tonight's session going.
Cool. All right. So starting off with last session, we headed back out. I guess the big thing last time at the very start was.
Oh wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Homer may not know that the address changed.
Oh, yeah.
So the way that you connected to the session has changed.
Okay.
Both the host address and the alias have both swapped, but it's just in the main chat.
Okay.
Yeah. Good
Okay,
call.
sorry, Paul. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, for sure. Okay. So I guess we start off last session basically waking up from our long rest at the edge of the city where we left off before. Only this time our buddy didn't end up coming back, even though we were supposed to talk with him and get kind of a battle plan going back into the city. And also Follower was strangely absent as well. So we had kind of an ominous tone going back into the city for the next day, where we were kind of blind again and going back out into the unknown. Along the way, we stopped by the old shop to pick up Darby's lockpicks and look around a little bit, but where things really started getting kicked off is as soon as we got back to the night road and we traveled pretty eventless, taking our time through to get to the other side. All of a sudden we heard what sounded like some noise out in the distance, and we decided to go check what was going on and saw what seemed to be a sword fighting away specters in this grove of sunlight where the darkness was kind of like opened up. What looked like a park or something of the sort. After trying to say hello to the sword to no avail and it kind of slashing at us as we got close, I think it was Egg found, or was it Darby? I can't remember. One of the two did something with the remains of that were kind of and kind of the altar there, like in the grove there, and that seemed to make the whatever magic or whatever was on the sword that was causing it to fight for eternity, it seemed, kind of dissipate, and Darby was able to grab the sword and just kind of holster it and hold on to it for the time being without any issue after trying to wrestle it.
I want to shed light on what happened there, because I feel like there's still some confusion or uncertainty. So without giving away what the item itself does, basically Darby tried to grab it and it fought against him.
Yeah.
It was like two people were wrestling with it, and then when Egg kicked aside or knocked aside the right hand or the sword hand, it stopped.
Yeah.
And this of course was after he had already yeeted the skull out into the woods,
right,
into the city somewhere.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, as a player, I'm under the assumption that it's a thing that you have to attune to, that, like, and that was what happened. But in character, I guess we don't really know exactly what the hell is going on with it quite yet.
I mean, in terms of magical properties, no, nobody has any idea. But Egg and Darby specifically know what caused it to stop, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyway. At this, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say anyway. Please continue.
Oh, okay. It was at this point that we decided to continue on to the next set of the next circle, the inner circle or whatever, which would be the richer area of the city under our assumption. And after a little tinkering in the guards' portcullis area, the like guard tower area sort of thing, we were able to get through without too much of an issue and begin our trek through some new territory. And that's where I'll let Hank take over.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to go through my notes. Is this where we found the piano room?
It is, yeah. We searched a few houses
Okay.
before then, but yes.
Yeah. So we found the nearby house with a piano in it, and then there was the building next door to that where a bunch of the ghosts had sort of positioned around it, and occasionally one would walk towards the building and then get blasted. So it was some sort of it had some sort of magical protection on it, and after trying to figure out this puzzle, Petlin played the notes DEAF, def, and that opened a little door that had a gemstone, a prism in it, and a ceramic box with some clay, but also and some toys. But also that alerted the horde, which then rushed forward to attack us, and we almost died, but we managed to survive. And then we were trying to figure out how to get into that building, and Isaac shot the stained glass and shattered it. And then Petalin stepped forward, and just the energy, instead of being directed because of the shards were all broken, blasted out randomly, and Egg got turned to stone.
That's right. I actually forgot about that.
So since I then was stoned for a while, I will pass it off. Someone else pick up from there.
After having shot the stained glass focus once, continued to shoot until completely shattering it, giving us somewhat safe entry into the building. Picking the door, we found ourselves inside a basically research facility with a bunch of books that only 2 people in the group could read because everything was in Elvish. On one of the top floors, there were some snarky statues that Udinar had encountered, but they seemed to be waiting a command to open what we found to be a secret passageway, and Petalin had the idea of using one of the paintings that was allegedly the person in command to try and trick the statues, but Udinar went ahead and just transformed himself into the commander. After some back and forth, we found ourselves in a back room with a glass heart chained up, some torches on the wall, and a window outside where we saw the incoming horde from the earlier gunshots. Solving the torch puzzle on the wall opened up to what was basically a vault of magical items, and much to the group's chagrin, most of them were inert, leaving 3 items, one of which Darby was particularly interested in due to some feelings in his mind. The other 2 items, we didn't really learn much because we gave them up, huh?
I guess
yes,
so,
we
yeah.
gave, we gave up the wand and the robe.
So now with some new items in tow and some information on pre-sundering artifacts that were left in the research lab, the group found themselves kind of stuck. Then hearing a sound at the window, looking out, the group sees Lothanar from
North. Lothanar is the name of the royal family.
I mean, technically it was him.
It wasn't him yet.
It wasn't him yet?
Or was it? I don't
Okay.
remember. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
We saw Norath and follower.
Yeah.
Okay. They made a distraction, attracting the ever-growing horde around the building, who somehow couldn't get into the building.
But no, you're right. So that yeah, at that point it would have been Valain and Norath. You're correct. So yes, it was the prince. Anyway, continue.
Given our Deus Ex Machina there, we ran out of the building and pushed further into the city, hoping to reach the center.
Are we passing it
Yes.
off to me?
Hmm.
Oh, okay. Okay, so um beyond the inner wall, as we decided we were just gonna book it inside. Um Actually, I guess when we finally reached the inner wall, we couldn't find any sort of gates or passages or any way through it. But when we touched it, it asked us, why we were there and, who we were. And so we each tried to touch it and tell it who we were and why we were there. And it didn't work until finally Egg was the last one to uh, introduce himself, basically. And then the wall told us that we would be granted an audience, and we moved inside. Inside the inner wall was thousands of what appeared to be tents and just kind of makeshift structures filled with cots and beds and things for more bodies that were in the same state as all the bodies in the rest of the city, where they're pretty much in turgor. But we made our way past all the tents and things through the courtyard into what appeared to be more of a castle. And there we were greeted in a sort of throne room by 4 spectral beings with standing on the uh, dais there next to the 4 thrones. And they basically threatened us and said that we would go no further while they hungered. And so we ended up giving them a lot of our various odds and ends magical items. We saved a few good ones for ourselves, but we ended up giving them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Quite a few. And fortunately, since we gave them those magic items, they did not try to kill us. So we didn't almost die at this point where we might have. After that, a metal cage elevator kind of descended from the ceiling, and we we got onto it and were kind of lowered down into a chamber really deep down below the castle, where we found a single female drow and an enormous beating heart that seemed to be the true heart of the city. She was there alone, and she said that she was the last of Spira, the last of her kind there, and she was waiting for the creators. At this point, we were able to enjoy a lot of more exposition about Spira, about how the city, being a living being, required a source of magic to exist, and the Heart Ward was stolen by a pair of ambassadors, so it started to waste away, and it started to feed upon the people of Spira as its source of magic. So they were trying to gather all the magical items into the city to try and fix it so that it wouldn't feast on the inhabitants, but it was just a slow decline over time. And she was put into this chamber as the kind of the last of everyone to wait for the creators to come back, and the city went underneath the sea in order to go into a low power mode or hibernation until the creators came back. Knowing all of that, we figured out that the soul gem that the druids were bringing would actually serve as the new heart ward for the city, and we could start to basically rebuild. But in order to do that, we would have to start bringing in more and more magical items for the city, which would eventually turn all of the inhabitants back into their normal state, hopefully. The woman in the chamber didn't really remember who she was before, but she knows she was in service to the city. So Grills comes in with the other druids, install the soul's gem as the heart ward, and all the various monsters and things that are on the outside of the city get banished into the sea. And even though the city is still filled with many, many revenants, we can start basically going out and bring things back. As a side note, Prince Villain is inside Norath's body now, and Norath is inside Follower's body. So, rip, baby follower. We don't have our little mascot monster anymore, which, is mixed reviews, but probably for the best for everybody.
Definitely for the best.
Probably for the best, yeah. So I think we're ready to start after that.
Logistically for the best.
Logistically, yes.
Yes. So that's a pretty good recap for the end of season 1. So on to, I guess, one of my favorite parts now. I'd like to know what your predictions, anticipations, things that you expect will happen, so on and so forth.
Starting with me, I think that the city is still too weak to move. So I think we'll probably have to make our way back to the mainland for our first quest and figure out what we want to do. I would probably like to go back to Redshore, but I guess we'll just have to see what our first assignment is, or if we have any good leads to start with. So.
I'm curious what is going to be Darby's death this session. During last game, like 3 separate occasions came up. Aside from that, Darby's kind of in a tricky spot because of the cloak. So I think there are going to be some repercussions that come up because of that, but we'll see how they manifest.
I'm hoping like we just, we get a mission that we can go on that's maybe less fraught politically. Some good old Luton adventure, just as a change of pace. And I'm hoping also at some point to start getting some more threads of other stuff, because we've burned through a lot. So, finding things that might point us in a direction in the future, since at this point we're kind of just up for any adventure because we don't necessarily have something we're directed to.
I want to point out that there are many things that you guys have been directed to. You just may have forgotten about them, or
I more mean like that our characters are tied to, not just that exist in the world.
Well, no. I understand that. I mean that there are probably 3 core plot lines that have been character driven that have kind of been forgotten, I think. And if we're still lost after the end of a couple of sessions here, I am happy to remind folks.
Fair enough.
All right. I don't know what to expect from here on out because it seems pretty open. So I guess I expect that we'll have a good time. I expect that we'll probably definitely this session we are going to find a track to go on. We're going to talk that out probably right at the beginning here, if I were to assume. And I'm just excited to see where we go from here, basically.
Okay. All right, so we kind of left in a nebulous sort of pseudo rest somewhere in the city state. I guess to make it clear, the innermost ring is probably the most dangerous to traverse, but the chamber where the heart is rather safe. The druids would make their camp outside of the city proper. But so it's you guys and a mysterious envoy of the heart, and occasionally the druids who are coming in to check on things. You've been here now for a few days. You've probably had conversations. You likely would have known that the lone remaining elf refers to herself as Lola, and like that's just a name that she chose for herself because she realized that she needed one in order to interact with you people, because she hadn't had one for so long that she just kind of forgot. And so she decided on Lola.
Cool.
Other than that, you guys, she would have let you know that at this point, yes, the city is too weak to move on its own, and that you'll need to find something soon, or rather, something local, something close by, so that you can begin to restore power to the city and its inhabitants. She would have asked if there was anything that you're carrying on yourselves that you'd be willing to give up to the city at the moment. Or if you want to go out in search of finding something fresh or new.
Well,
Go ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
Paul.
Well, we still have that that heart that we found in the secret chamber in like the library building.
But
The
do we
laboratory
want to give it
building.
up?
We don't even know what it does.
Yeah, I'm not too willing to give up anything else quite yet. I'd rather go out and find something, personally.
Okay, well we can take a hot minute and keep it for now and figure out if it's something we want to keep or return later.
Am I
He
still...
wants to know.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, maximum
No,
health.
go ahead. Yeah. I can long rest everybody here. Oh, right. Is all of you is your maximum health still lowered?
Yeah.
Well, you've had 3 days. Is there anything you would have done in 3 days to try to remedy it?
I would have cast heal whatever. Everything I could do. Curse, poison, whatever.
Well, you gotta tell me what that
Okay.
is.
Yeah, okay, let me bring up my list here. God damn it. I was trying to hand wave it.
Hmm.
Alright, I'll tell you in 2 seconds here. I guess I would probably first try... Hell is it on this list? I know I've cast it on somebody before too.
What you've got?
I'm just gonna
curse, lesser
yeah, I'm-
restoration.
Yeah, lesser restoration.
Okay, so you try Lesser Resto, it does nothing.
Okay. Resto does nothing. That doesn't do anything because I've tried that before. Oh my god. This thing's loading so slowly too for me.
I've noticed that if you have the window as not the primary window, it can be a little bit slow to load things when you click back in.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Guess that makes sense. Yeah, because I've tried healing word on us before. That didn't do anything.
Correct.
Oh, did I try cure wounds?
Okay, you try Cure Wounds, that doesn't do anything.
Right, okay. That's just a heal, so.
Yeah, you wouldn't have greater restoration until next level.
Right. Yeah, I guess, I think that's all I try. I'm just seeing if there's anything else. Oh, remove curse. I would try.
You try Remove Curse, and that also does not do anything.
Yeah, unless I'm missing something, that's all I would try, so.
Okay, that's fine. All right, so you try those 3 spell effects, none of them work, so...
Actually, I'll try Dispel Magic as well.
Same thing. Nothing happens. You feel
Kinda what I
like
figured.
maybe you just don't have the magical prowess to get rid of this just yet.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. So, she wants to know. Lulu just kind of is like, well, since we're kind of here, and based off what you've told me about yourselves, surely you must have some local leads.
Well, we do. But I don't know how I mean, it's not exactly local. It would be a couple of weeks out.
Hmm. Well, as you may or may not know, this place was once a great, well, a city dedicated, rather, that became dedicated to the research uh, and reclamation of all such sorts of magical artifacts and relics. I'm sure one of our 3 major research facilities may have information for you. Alternatively, if you have the means to do so, I could perhaps barter with the heart, or barter with the city, and have one of our lead researchers restored.
There's more than one research facility? I think we visited one already.
Well, having not left here in as who knows how long, I can't tell you the state that what any of them would be in. But yes, there were 3 or research facilities, each dedicated to a different aspect of working with magic relics.
Well, I'm down with trying to go find those. I mean, we had such an easy time in the first one.
Wouldn't it be better to have some sort of official that could prevent us from being shot upon trying to enter?
Well, what would you say bartering with the heart? What would it cost to have
Bring
one?
me a relic of sufficient power, and I will submit it to the city. And rather than have the city consume its energy for itself, maybe I could convince it to give up one of the souls of the inhabitants. If you have a specific request, then I can, as I said, barter with the city and see if they will relinquish that soul.
Well, do you guys want to just give her the little glass heart thing?
Why are you so set on getting rid of that?
I don't want
I
to
wanna-
have to go back into giant territory to get a mask to come all the way back here.
I know, but it's always the heart.
It's so easy. It's right here. What do y'all want to do? What do you guys want to pursue?
Well, not just hand over pre-sundering artifacts,
Okay,
especially
so,
one that was on a list of seemingly important ones.
well then what are some local leads that we have that we could do quickly to bring this official person back?
What? Why are you going from point A to point Z?
Nobody else is offering up any solutions or suggestions.
Right, but you're jumping from only the heart to let's go get a giant mask.
No, I was asking everyone else if they had some other suggestions.
Hmm.
Yeah. I'm not crazy about just walking around looking for artifacts while there's apparently a bounty in my head. So that doesn't sound great to me. At least we're kind of safe here in the city of dead. Or at least I'm kind of safe here, I suppose. You guys are whatever.
I'll be safe until the city is back up and running, and then all the drow are gonna look down on me, figuratively and literally.
Yeah, I was gonna say everybody looks down on you. Okay.
Maybe they're too proud to look down and they just won't see you.
That's pretty good. Egg showcasing a rather profound understanding of drow. Don't everybody speak up at once.
Well, Darby just got here. He has no idea what's going on this continent.
Right. So again, you guys are jumping from point A to point Z. You have, in terms of what you have, there's more than just the heart. I know you gave up a lot in the throne room to make sure you could get down here without a fight, but that doesn't mean that the group doesn't have other things. To put it plainly, if you would like a guide who can assist you by basically interpreting and reading through the research facilities and being like, hey, here's a potential lead, you're going to have to give something up. Otherwise, you'll have to go to the research facilities yourselves, likely fight your way there, find a way inside, hope that you can find a relevant current lead, and then go out. Or you can follow one of the leads that you do have. The hag has been destroyed, but there, you did still have the option of getting a shaman mask from a giant. I think that may be the only persistent lead that you still have at this point. Of course, you can always just go back into Treetop and ask around, or go to one of the other villages and ask. I mean, you are Factors, and that is what they do.
Yeah. Weren't we saying we wanted to check in with Red Shore?
I mean, that's a good distance from here, but yeah.
What were we wanting to check in on Red Shore for? Just like as a group here.
It was more like
I think
see
you
if
and
they
Egg are
survived
the only ones of the
tsunami
original
and-
group, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was more like see if they survived the tsunami and then just make sure that they were aware that the giant crab monster that appeared offshore, if they can see it, is in fact Spira.
Okay, so we could maybe consider that while we're on the way to something we can stop in. Like, it doesn't seem like there's a big thing we want to do there.
No.
Okay.
I think returning to Spiro was just like, or returning to Red Shore was just to, tell them, hey,
Say
Spiro's
hi.
back. We
Yeah.
did it.
We did it, you guys.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
I'm pretty interested in the weird, like, dryads, honestly. That, like,
Yeah.
I'm interested in that whole thing because I don't know what the fuck is going on there. But I mean, I'd realize the rest of the group wouldn't be because they weren't there as part of it.
The Eldritch Woods dryads.
Yeah. I kind of like the idea of going after the House of Scales more as well.
Right. But in the immediate terms, I need to know, like, if you guys are gonna go after the House of Scales, Spirit probably needs to be able to move.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
we're not
I don't
ready
know.
for that
I don't
yet.
know if you guys remember where they were said to be operating out of most recently.
I'll be honest,
I will
I'm
take
kind
it-
of okay fighting my way to a lab and like checking it out ourselves. I'd almost rather that, honestly, for the adventure sense, but also because I really don't want to give shit up right now until we like can find more stuff, maybe.
And
I mean, maybe the group should take inventory of what they have and
Yeah.
include Darby in the conversation because dude's clueless.
well, looking over what I have left, I have the Boots of Elvenkind and the Rope of Climbing. And I guess technically the Mordrak and Liquor as well.
Oh, right. Yeah. I forgot
So
about that.
that's pretty much what I have on my person. Now in the hole we have
We should just talk about in the hole.
okay. In the hole we've got
Oh, hold on. If I could make a recommendation,
Mhm.
and yes, it will take some time, but I think it will help the group here immensely if you literally go through each magic item you have and what effect it has on the group, or whether is it
Yeah,
useful
I
now.
agree. Also, this is a time where we're gonna. I think we can let Darby know about the hole and stuff. This is gonna be fucking ridiculous if he's going to be part of our group to hide that shit from him. So.
Well, I don't think we've been exactly hiding it from him
No,
so
but
far
this is
either.
where we're going to talk as a group.
Sure. Okay.
That's fair.
Okay. So the things, I think the rope of climbing that you have, or whatever, is the least valuable thing you have between the two. The boots are too good.
But yes, between the boots are really good because they give us advantage on stealth check, and since we have group stealth, that's really good.
And I just generally have disadvantage, so you cancel that out yourself, basically.
Right. And so the rope of climbing is good for shenanigans.
Well, why aren't you just wearing those boots then?
Because at best it just cancels out my disadvantage. I could just not go on a stealth mission and wait. Or wait in the hole.
But I think, like, in terms of overall numbers, you having a flat roll is better than possibly a critical failure.
I think, well, you can't critically fail a skill check, but statistically it's better to have advantage. Yes. Huh. Yeah, a natural 20 is not a success, and a natural 1 is not a failure on a skill check.
Interesting.
Okay. Technically only on attack rolls and ability checks. Not even saving throws, even though I house rule that saving throws count.
Okay. So if you roll a 20 on a death save, you count it as 2 still, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Because that's a specific rule.
Yeah. Okay.
But if you're making a perception check and you roll a 20, I don't care what you're like, that doesn't mean you succeed, because if the monster's got a 35 stealth.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you just see through walls all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. I think the upside to somebody having advantage is greater than somebody just having normal rolls from disadvantage.
Statistically, it's better to roll more dice than fewer dice. Like, even when you're rolling at disadvantage, the way that stealth works in groups, it's better to have multiple people rolling more dice.
But what if we find a situation where he's off on his own for whatever reason? Sure. Got split up and he's stealth, and you're stuck with disadvantage.
Here's the thing:
then
if I'm off by my own and I have a worse problem. I'm not wearing armor.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, so starting with pedal in, you have rope of climbing, boots of elven kind. Anything else?
I don't. Well, I mean, I have the Mordrak and liquor. But that's pretty much it.
So the Mordrak and liquor as an effect is useless because I can do that whenever. But if you want it for flavor or whatever, literally, and for like the game, then that's fine, honestly.
Those are the only magic items you have?
Wasn't the Dragon Talon magical?
I suppose. Do I still have that? I do still have that.
Nothing else. No magical items.
I mean, you have the portable hole.
Well, but we're not addressing the hole yet. We're talking about people first, and then the hole.
But the portable hole is a magical item, right?
Yeah, sure. I have the portable hole.
We can all agree that that's
our
not
backpack, though.
Yeah, we're not giving that up, right? We all agree.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah.
No.
So, and nothing else?
Well, I mean, I have my arcane focus necklace, but I wasn't counting that because there's no way that I'm giving that up.
Right. Nothing else.
Do we consider the Mordrak holy symbol
to
be magical?
Man, you have a lot of stuff. Damn, I'm just looking at
and my eye.
There we go.
About my eye. My eye does things.
You do still have that spell book too.
Oh well, I put that in a hole because it's hard to read, but yes, most.
Especially with
one eye.
Only
consumes your life.
Okay.
Well,
So now
Darby,
that you have a
never
full list-
saw it, but that book makes people go mad.
Now that you have a full list of Pedalin's magical items, we can go down and she can say, yes, I'm willing to give this up. No, I'm not willing to give this up. Or this is the value it brings to the group, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And I'm
Do you
doing this
wanna get
because
rid
you
of
guys
that
need to
eyeball?
get used to this kind of conversation because this is going to happen a lot more now.
Yeah. We definitely need to be more of a group instead of like 4 single people.
Well,
For
that
sure.
and if you're going to be factors, it's going to be a decision of do we keep the cool shit we find or give it to the city?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's talk about your eye. Because as far as I'm concerned, I don't care if you lose it.
Well, that's fair, but
Let me tell you
I
why.
kind of like it
Because
where
I've
it is.
seen that monster that comes from it. So I'm a little worried. But if you want to keep it and think you can keep it under wraps, then we'll deal with it when we need to. It's fine.
Personally, I kind of like it. I've grown a little attached to it.
Okay, fair enough.
Now,
let's put that
being
in the
said,
maybe pile. Then.
Just put my face in the maybe pile.
No, your eye.
Anyway,
Totally different.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just scribble that as a no on my list. Boots of Elvenkind, obviously that's a no. The liquor, I mean, I'd like to keep it for flavor, but I'm okay with giving it up. Let's see, the rope of climbing is good for shenanigans, and I'd like to keep it, but I'm okay with it. If we've got nothing else, because remember that it can snake up to where you want it to go and tie itself off, and then you can scurry up.
Yeah.
Which
Darby's
for
been just
people who are
using
small,
Mage
like
Hand
me-
all the time, though, to do that.
And
Yeah.
Darby can also teleport.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, can't you too? Don't you have Misty
well,
Step?
I can, but remember that Misty Step is only 30 feet, and the rope of climbing is 60.
True enough. Okay.
So,
Okay.
I mean,
You make a good point. Yeah. What you're saying is
So
we
I'm
need a 10-foot pole, essentially.
I'm pretty sure we have a 10-foot. We already
I'm
have a
sure we
10-foot
do.
pole and a 10-foot ladder. And we also have, between the full group, probably about 600 feet of other rope that's just like mundane rope.
Quote unquote other.
So I'm okay with losing the rope of climbing if we need to.
Okay. Let's do me because I'm quick. I have goggles that help me see in the dark.
Yeah, those are important.
They are. I'd be okay giving them up if we needed to, though. Because we have lights. I can make light as a spell. But, like, I'd rather be able to see in the... or have dark vision if possible. Or at least the option. I have gauntlets of strength, which is why I'm able to do a lot of stuff, because my base strength is kind of quite low, honestly. That being said, the reason why I'd be okay giving that up is because strength is not one of my major stats as, like, a cleric. It's just a nice thing. So, that's a thing we could give.
Yeah, but I think in a lot of situations we use you as the muscle to move shit out of the way.
I agree. And I gave up the shield, and it just made faces anyway, so whatever. I think that's it that I had.
Because the holy symbols don't count, right?
We have all those medallions,
no.
and 3 of them did have, like, magic.
Latent magical energy. Yeah. They wouldn't be of a sufficient power.
Sure, okay.
So it sounds like
Just as a yeah,
sorry,
just
I
a
didn't
basic
mean to
thing.
interrupt.
Would it make more sense for me to have those gauntlets? Because I do use strength as my primary attribute.
What I mean, just straight up, what's your strength score? Because it can't go above 20.
16. Like my strength score is actually a little low.
Yeah, it would make sense for you to have them. I have them because that's what I rolled as my like starting item.
Mm.
Wait, isn't strength your main attack stat?
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Probably be good to have another +1 into it.
Here, let's keep going down the list. We can do trades after, but I want to
Yeah.
get the inventory done first.
I think that's all I have. Feel free to correct me if I forgot to write something down.
I think your shovel's a +1 shovel, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not giving that up because for
Sure,
flavor,
but
that's more important.
well,
to me.
right. It still needs to be mentioned so that you know you have it.
Yeah, sure. It's a +1 weapon.
So,
Yeah.
but really, what we're hearing for Udnar is that Udnar's stuff he keeps.
Well,
That's-
I'm okay giving away any of it except the shovel unless like my character chooses to, because that's like
Okay.
a flavor thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so egg.
Okay, so I've got the Ring of Water Walking, which is just pretty important for my character not being a pain in the ass sometimes. We have to deal with water. I've got the Breastplate of Force Resistance, which could go. I could just wear other armor. I've got the Bell Staff, which I need some kind of magical weapon just because some enemies take
Yeah.
magical damage, but at some point I could
Yep.
trade that out. I've got Ring of the Raccoon, which is dark vision. The Cloak of Billowing, which does nothing but is hilarious.
I thought we gave that up.
I thought we didn't.
Yeah. I
No,
think
you
we-
did. You did give it
Did
up.
we?
Yeah, we gave that up.
Yeah,
Okay. That one should
yeah,
be
because
deleted
we
then.
made a big deal about one last billow.
Gotcha. I forgot. I've got my Goblin Toe. My
Is
All right.
your sweet dagger there in the list magical?
No, that's just a House of Scales dagger.
It's just a sweet dagger.
It's ornate.
Yeah. That was I named it that before we were like swimming in those things.
Yeah.
I've got the small bonsai bush, which produces good berries.
I think that's a keep.
Yeah, I was willing to give it up, but you guys want to keep it.
Is it a keep?
Have we really been utilizing it though?
Yeah.
I feel like it's been neglected.
I haven't. Well, I have to spend time on it, and I didn't have time when we had follower. Is kind of the thing. I was spending time paying attention to follower rather than
Okay.
caring for the good berry plant. Basically,
In terms of the group,
Yeah.
having good berries on people, if someone is down, would you count it like as a potion action, Wolf? To stuff one in their face and heal 1 HP?
I mean, it's retrieve an item, and what you can do is part of a movement, and then shoving a berry in their mouth, which I think is way less involved than pouring a potion in their mouth. So I don't think I'd make it a full action. I think it'd be a bonus action.
But you would rule it to be able to be used in that way?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess in that sense, it would be good to have them around for emergency situations.
Yeah.
And
so
now that
like
we don't
again,
have follower,
Mhm.
Mhm.
So, in terms of what they provide mechanically, I have a bonus action heal to get people up. I can use Spare the Dying to just make someone stop dying instantly, and I can heal the group.
But if you go down,
I mean,
And
then
we're out of
you should
potions
all
for what I-
probably like mourn my death as you die.
Well, don't forget you have pedal in.
Yeah, we have pedal in as well. Also, if it's like the whole we didn't bring rations, I can literally create food and water for like 40 people or something dumb.
dang.
I think it was 40 pounds of food.
That's too much food. That's too much food. But like, what I'm saying is that thing can go, as far as I'm concerned.
I like the suggestion of having a few good berries on hand, just for when people go down, because I mean, it is good as a backup, particularly because we keep seeming to be oddly separated during big, hard, long fights. Like when we were at in Treetop during the horrible boss battle, we were all over the place.
That's because we split
And
it, though.
yeah, and like having a couple of good berries in our back pocket wouldn't be necessarily be a bad thing, but
Right. What if you happen to be out of spell slots?
exactly.
I
If-
think that
If I'm out of
the
spell
Goodberry
slots, I
Bonsai
can
Bush
spare the dying as a cantrip.
I was gonna say I think the Goodberry Bonsai Bush is on its own fantastic if it's used, but it hasn't been used in probably 10 sessions. Now, granted, follower was a core of the attention for everybody. Now, I mean, I believe the item actually does produce good berries no matter what, but it produces more when you give it care and attention.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going on there.
Other than that, I don't remember if the spyglass or compass are just spyglasses and compasses. I think they are.
They
I
are
don't think they're
just,
magic.
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think I have a potion of hill giant strength. I think that's it for magic. I have a bunch of knickknacks, but
So
other than that,
it sounds like the only item that you would put in a maybe pile here is the Goodberry Bonsai Bush.
Well, and the breastplate.
Oh, right, and their breastplate, which,
yeah.
Interestingly enough, has not come up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
it
force
hasn't.
damage has not been a thing.
Which means it will be as soon as you give it up, just as a heads up.
I mean,
You've played games before,
Fight
you
a
know.
wizard and all
I
they do
understand.
is use magic missile.
Yeah.
Magic missile.
Darby's turn.
Sure.
Well, Darby's a little light. Mostly just found new stuff here. There's the cloak, which is an enigma, and then there's the rapier that was stolen. Also a mystery, but we're aware that both of those are pre-sundering things, so those are probably not something we want to give up so easily.
To be clear, all magic items are pre-sundering, with the
I guess so,
exception
yeah.
of Egg's Glaive. But you know that the cloak, the cloak and the rapier, just based off the interaction that you have with them, are more than just your run-of-the-mill relic.
All right, what's the term we're going to use for those? Super
Artifact.
relics?
Artifact.
All right. Then, aside from that, I've got a ring that lets me swim good.
What?
It gives me a swimming speed of 40 feet, so I'm not at half movement
That
while
is good swimming.
Neat.
And then I've got this lucky rock.
Okay.
What does
And
the
there's
lucky
no
rock
way I'm
do?
giving up +1 to all ability checks and saving throws.
Oh dang!
So, not giving that up.
That's a good rock. Okay, so I guess that brings us to the hole. Now, the hole itself is obviously a magic item, but we're definitely not getting rid of it. In the hole, we kind of cleaned ourselves out a little bit of some different things, but what we have remaining should be a crate of now 3 remaining alchemist's fire flasks and 2 unidentified Sahaugen potions.
Shit, I forgot about those.
Technically, we could try to identify them now.
Wait, hold on. Go through the hole again.
We have the alchemist fire flasks, 3 of them, and 2 unidentified Sahaugen potions.
Okay. That was it.
Everything else magical we gave up already. From the hole.
Nothing else. There's nothing else that maybe was put in there because you guys were scared of it that might have magic inside.
We've got that locked chest that was booby trapped.
Oh, yeah, the ornate chest. I put that under monetary items because it's a master-crafted lock. We have a pouch of human teeth in here.
Uh-huh.
We haven't cleaned out
Those are
the
mine.
hole in a while, so
So, I'm okay with giving up these 2 mystery potions, for sure.
wait, we have soap in here?
Well, of course we have soap.
All right.
We bought a bunch of shit in Treetop.
I forgot all about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why he needs soap in the hole when Darby's carrying 3 bars of soap on him.
Well, we bought it before we met Darby.
And there's also a helm that no one mentioned to Darby as he struggled to read all the Elvish while we were in the library.
Oh yeah.
That's gone now. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, we don't own that anymore.
Did you give it up?
Yep.
I thought you didn't.
Nope, we did.
Hmm.
Wait, did we?
I don't think we did.
Well, it's
Geo?
on the
Yeah,
list of stuff that's
Spoke
good.
about
I thought
Yasha's
I-
scimitar. Oh no, I guess we did keep it, didn't we? Yeah, no, that was the one thing that we kept was the helm of comprehend languages.
Yeah.
I was gonna
Which
say
I-
I remember it being kept because I remember the conversation being like, "This has come in useful once or twice."
Well, so we're okay with giving up the Sahaugen potions, but we would probably want to keep that helm then. What do we want to do about this ornate chest?
Open it without disarming it to see what happens, obviously.
It might have some good shit in it. Just saying. Now's a good time when we're not in danger or have any pressing matters right this second.
Like,
I mean,
could
we
we
can-
ask somebody how we could open it if we can't disarm it? It's
You
their
literally have somebody whose job it is to disarm things
Yeah.
and pick locks.
And
chest.
now
For
we
some
know
reason,
he
he's
has a
scared
plus
to all the
one.
time, though.
Well, this one specifically, like we looked at, and it's like if you attempt to tamper with it, it's booby trapped for that. And the fact that it was like master crafted dwarf work.
Can we
Well,
get a dwarf to open it?
we have a cleric here who can heal you if you die.
I've already almost died how many times since this character came in?
We've got a bush with good berries that can keep you from dying.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't do massive damage, you'd be fine.
All right, are we gonna try this?
Yeah.
All right,
Why not? Let's
I'm
do it.
rolling it in the open so everyone can feel bad if it goes bad.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Hold on. Nobody blessed him?
I mean, I could have given you
Or-
guidance, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you guidance. Add a D4 to that.
Sure, I'll allow it. 15. And this is to pick the lock.
Mm-hmm.
Let me hold on. I have to go back and find it real quick. Let me see if I can dig it up easy.
I kindly ask Lola to stand back while we do this.
It's really not that bad of a
one.
roll. Kinda.
Dwarven chest.
This is fine.
You don't trigger the tamper but you are unable to pick the lock. You can try again when you can give me different or a justification for why you would have a different result. Now, again, I'm giving you 3 days here, so tell me.
Right. I don't know if I would have another justification. The main goal, knowing that it was a dwarven make, was to try and get some more information on where it was made or by
I
whom.
I really don't think that you'll get anything there.
This
Like
wasn't a
even
short-term plan.
mm, mm. I mean, you could. I hate holding everybody's hand like this. You can literally tell me I slept on it, and that's justification to try something again.
Yeah, like that felt too easy.
I mean, it works in programming.
Okay, I guess not having triggered the booby trap and it blowing up in his face, trying it again, he feels more confident about it.
Yeah, fills you
Okay.
with determination. Have guidance.
Sure. So you've slept on it. You're guided. You try again. Who is crunching? 18 is just enough.
Easy.
Just enough as a fresh night's sleep where you weren't harassed by specters, despite the fact that you were sleeping in a weird heart chamber, and didn't nearly die, seems to fill you with newfound confidence as you slide the picks in place, get the last pin to go where it needs to go, and as you torque the torque wrench, you feel a satisfying click, thud, as the heavy lock drops from the box.
I'm gonna back up 10 feet and then have Mage Hand open up the lid.
Mage Hand cannot lift the heavy lid.
Unfortunate. I'm gonna stand behind it and then open it from the back to not
Alright. As
be
you
in
as you
line of
pull
fire.
as you pull the heavy lid free, you are perhaps surprised by the sheer weight of it. Almost all of the weight seems to, or at least, I mean, definitely half the weight would be housed within it. But it's not entirely unlike lifting 30 pounds. As you pull it free, and you realize that it is heavily cushioned inside. There are 3 distinct chambers in the chest itself, or grooves that are cut within it. They are all very heavily lined with velvet and some sort of padding underneath. And who else is standing around?
I'm here. I guided him.
Okay. Anybody else? Specifically, Egg, are you around?
I'm
I'm
around. I
I'm
wanna see
not
what's in it.
nearby, but I'm around. I'd be like
Mm-hmm.
not
So, all
standing
right. So,
over it, but like
give me a
in the room.
perception check.
All right.
Maybe Egg looks over
what is
when
it?
we all
What?
go,
Why did
ooh.
All right, new server, so my perception check is not there.
Egg. Okay, so your passive perception is higher than that. So, for whatever reason, you hear the grunt, the strained, attempt of Darby to pull the chest open, perhaps surprised by the weight of the chest again, as I said. And out of the corner of your eye, there is a glint that just seems to signal your brain that you need to pay closer attention to what's happening. And so you turn and you see inside 2 oddly familiar barrel, like little pony keg sized barrels. And your immediate thought is likely to duck and cover, because the last time you saw these, goblins were working with it, and it often led to explosions and death. Um, Egg would know that the two casks inside. So to put this in perspective, it's like there's a cask groove on the left side, a cask groove on the right side, and then there's a tray in the middle. And I'll kind of explain what's in the middle here in a second. But the two kegs on either side are in fact dwarven blasting powder. And then in the center tray, as Egg dives for cover, you will notice that there is what looks to be like a necklace of like a strand of beads. There are 5 beads on the strand, and they are. I thought I had these rolled already, but apparently not. All right, one. Oh. 6 types. 1, 2, 3. Why does it only give me 3 if there are 6? That's dumb. All right,
It's
so
just good math.
Yeah, it's like, oh, there's it could be this, or this. There's 6 types. Excuse me. Okay. So that is a. Okay. So yeah, it looks like a necklace of prayer beads with 5 polished beads of. That one can be aquamarine. That one can be pearl. That one can be topaz. That one is also pearl. That one would be bloodstone. And then the rest of the necklace is made up of various just like polished beads of nondescript. They're much smaller.
Neat. You did it.
Yeah.
See? Easy.
Can Darby give one of the barrels a sniff? Is it like reminiscent to cannon powder?
Well, cannons aren't really a thing.
Really?
Really. I'm pretty sure that they aren't. Oh, I don't have Saltmarsh, so I don't know if they're including them in the Greyhawk.
And Saltmarsh was just like a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Did that add anything interesting? Not to go on a tangent.
I haven't bothered to look because it's not relevant.
Sure.
You know what? Let me look. It's apparently in the Dungeon Master's Guide, so let me grab that because that's a good ruling to know.
Neato.
Also, Egg would yell out to be careful that those are bombs while he's hiding.
That Egg has taken cover under whatever possible thing he can.
Yes, he is hiding.
Oh, I forgot I had
will yell out.
my Dungeon Master's Guide autographed by the. I was like, what the hell is this writing in here?
Did I write this? What did I write?
It just says all work and no play.
Over and over.
Explosive. There would not be cannons, but blasting powder for like mining. So I guess basically nobody has put them together yet.
Okay.
Is because goblins are likely going to be the ones who invent cannons. Or reinvent them, even. So I don't think Darby would know. But yeah, sure, you could take a sniff, and it's going to smell very strongly of gunpowder, but that's not something that you've likely smelled before.
Okay. Glad to clarify, because my assumption was certain ships out there did have cannons if they were rich enough.
If they did, it would probably be something more along the line of a magic item.
Okay.
Or maybe a goblin ship would. But no, in my head, they're still in the era of ballista and scorpions and stuff.
Okay.
Okay. From the pit, I'm going to take a dagger for myself, because you never know when you need a dagger in your belt.
I keep one in my boot.
Yeah, exactly. You
Look,
never know.
I just keep 2 great axes on me.
So I'm going to put 14 daggers
And a
instead of
dagger.
15. Okay. Let's talk about that glass heart now, though. Like, realistically. Is that something we actually want to consider giving up?
Well, we've been down here for 3 days, right? Wouldn't we have taken some time during that period to examine it and try to figure out properties of it and whatever?
I would assume so.
I felt like we would have been met with the same. It takes more than just staring at it for an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's again, like I mentioned, anything that is, we're calling them artifacts, they will have something else associated with them other than just being like, let's hold it close and pet it and tell it how wonderful it is and hope that it tells us what it does. Oh, you know what? There would be some primitive cannons based off the tech level. So, sure, let's say Darby knows what it is. I found an official ruling. So, we'll be fine with that. However, cannons would be something that would have been salvaged from pre-sundering stuff. So, even then, yes, they would be on very expensive or very. So,
Okay.
Darby
It was more just
may
making the
have.
connection that they go boom and you can make them
Yes.
go boom. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's less of like a literal powder keg and more like these are you can blend it. Dwarves would probably use it to make dynamite, so it needs to be pressurized and stuff. If you light it, yes, it will catch on fire. But I don't think the casks are pressurized enough for it to really be considered a bomb.
Okay.
Egg's reaction is just because when goblins are messing with it, it is a bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what's in our maybe pile? The breastplate.
The breastplate, the liquor, the rope of climbing, and I'm not really sure where we ended up on the small bonsai bush.
Keep for now, I think, is where we're landing.
Okay.
From what it sounds like.
So we have 3 plus. I don't know if we wanted to get rid of the 2 Sahaugen potions.
What's going on with this chain axe again? In the pit?
Not magic.
It's just silvered.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just we've had that for a long time.
Okay, so here's the earth.
Round.
do we want to go ahead and give up those 3 things and see how far we get with bringing an official person back? Do we
I
want
think
to
that
start?
might be our best route for a concise answer, as opposed to putzing around in a room full of books with no real direction.
Okay.
So, what am I hearing?
So we would present the breastplate of force resistance, the rope of climbing.
I'll take the armor. You can keep the rest.
Hey.
And after about a day, then the next time that you're in the heart, you will find that Lola has brought forth what looks to be a very confused and very kind of space cadet drow. And she introduces him as one of the 3 lead researchers of Spira.
Somebody walk up and say hello.
All right. Egg, are you just going to take that normal breastplate from the pit then? Because that's what
Is
we're
there a
using for
normal-
armor, right?
Is there a normal breastplate in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where?
Or there was. Hold on, I just saw it.
Well-maintained half-plate armor.
Yeah, half-plate armor.
That's-
Sorry.
Oh, half plate
half-
is not.
Yeah.
Half plate's not
Ye-
breastplate.
I thought there was a breastplate in there.
There's also heavy armor, chain and rivets.
I
chain
have
shirts.
full plate if you want.
No.
I'm going to put that full plate in the pit because it's like super heavy that I've been carrying around.
But you haven't been wearing it.
I can't wear it.
Mm.
It's from the library. Otohetsu's library. Or his room or something.
That's a long time you've been carrying that.
It's fucking heavy. Trust me, I'm aware. It's been a long time. Just kind of attached in pieces to my pack.
Did anybody want to touch that necklace that's in the chest?
What do you mean touch it? What's it gonna do?
I don't know.
Okay,
How
I
do you
touch it.
Feel the familiar round stones of prayer bead.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what the hell it was, so it's like,
I thought
all
I
right,
said it
I'll
was a
touch it.
necklace of prayer beads.
Well, all I heard was, is somebody gonna touch the thing in the...
Well, I didn't know if anybody was gonna take a minute to see if it was magic or try to identify.
Oh, yeah, sure, I'll
or
detect
what.
magic as soon as, like, that's all done and
Okay.
whatnot. For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a magic item.
Yeah, and if it's gonna take a day, I'll sit with it and see if I can glean anything.
You glean that it is a necklace of prayer beads and that it does have 5 magic stones, each of which have their own unique effect.
But no idea what the
Um,
effects are.
Oh, hold on. I'm waiting for it to load here.
Okay.
So I give you 1 per rest. Is that right?
Yes.
I think
okay,
you give me 5 per rest. You have to try. I mean, it's my job as a player.
If a magic bead is removed, the bead loses its magic. I have more than 1 bead of the same type. It does require attunement. And so once you attune to it, then you'll know what it does. That
I
one's
think it's
very
time to wake
popular
up,
tonight.
Homer.
Was.
Okay. So we have that. Good.
Okay, if it's okay with you guys,
Before
I'll
we-
try tuning to it at some point later.
I
Prayer
mean, it's
beads
prayer
seem
beads.
up your
so-
alley. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Before we move on with the aloof researcher,
Mhm.
do we want to discuss gauntlets?
Yeah, we should discuss just like loadouts essentially right now for sure.
Well, I think the only thing that people were gonna move was the gauntlets from Udinar to Egg.
What's Egg gonna do for armor? Or does he not need it? Do you need armor right now, Egg?
I do. I'm gonna take the half plate, but I will then have disadvantage on stealth checks.
Welcome to the club, buddy.
Doesn't your rage also not function or something like that? Or
No,
is it
half
your
plate is
increased move?
still medium armor.
Oh, okay.
I just can't wear heavy armor.
Mm.
Half plate
And
is
I
the
don't think he's
heaviest armor I can wear with that.
Yeah, I don't think he has the barbarian feature for the unarmored defense yet either.
Oh, okay,
see.
so he really does need something probably.
But the half
And
plate's
I
okay,
do.
though.
It's just my dex isn't actually high enough to be that great.
Mm.
Gotcha.
Because I took a lot of points. I've taken a lot of feats, so I haven't put points into pure stats.
Yeah. Roger.
So I think half plate will probably be fine then.
Yeah.
So
Technically, I have more AC now.
yeah. So it looks like we're swapping the gauntlets from Udinar to Egg.
Yeah, so
Well,
Mhm.
here's the question: how much of a hit are you taking to strength? Because we've had a lot of
-3.
situations where it was. Wow.
Like your
Mm.
strength goes down by 3, or your modifier goes down by 3.
Modifier, my strength goes down by 7.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, the two of you together have kind of been like both of you work on something strength wise. So that might be a huge hit for a +1.
So I know
I'm gonna
Mhm.
go ahead, Paul. You might be about to say what I was gonna say.
the thing is that +1 for somebody who needs strength might be more important than I don't use strength for anything except for when you guys specifically are like lift me up or whatever. And
Toss me.
my racial counts me as a larger creature for pushing and pulling things anyway. But like I don't use strength for literally anything. Everything I use almost everything else except for strength for like my skill
Well,
checks and stuff.
the only time you even use strength is if you actually swing the shovel, which
Yeah.
you should almost always be casting a damage cantrip anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Especially now because my wisdom modifier goes as damage on top of my other stuff. Like I literally never use strength. But like you said, if Egg is for some reason not around, I am taking a pretty big hit.
Well, what I was going to mention is that the gloves don't require attunement.
Right, we can pass them back and forth.
Oh wait,
Really?
hold on.
They don't?
Wait.
They should.
Wait. They do require attunement. I thought it was one of the ones
Yeah.
where they don't. So
Because it was
they
like the
can't just
headband.
be. Yeah.
Mm.
They cannot just be passed back and forth.
I don't know.
So
I was just trying to play devil's advocate if it was that big a hit.
because Egg's strength is +3 right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mine's +4. So, like, currently. So, we could have a +3 and a +4 essentially for strength stuff. Or we could have 1 +4 and the rest, like, 0 and +1. I kind of don't care, to be honest with you guys. Because I don't use strength. The only reason I have been is because you guys have specifically, like, asked me to, like, help lift you or, like, help carry stuff.
I mean, because you've been large and lifting heavy things, so it was just kind of the assumption made.
Mm-hmm. Realistically, Egg should have always been the one doing strength checks. My dude's wise, yo. Wise enough to know
And
that
tall.
he's weak, so he needs gauntlets. So, we could do it democratically. However you guys vote.
Egg, have you put your half plate on yet?
No, because my fantasy ground is chugging.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so votes
I put it on
on
there.
I mean, I'm not going to
getting
count my
the-
vote because it'll be majority otherwise. And I'm indifferent.
In terms of combat, +1 adds up with how many attacks he takes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess in a situation where it's two people like trying to do a strength check, if someone is assisting, then he would get advantage.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, it sounds like it's an egg decision more than anything.
Yep.
I mean, it just seems like it would be.
Well, I guess how
My
many
character
items
would
are you
deal
gonna
more
turn to?
damage if he had it. He cares. My character cares about strength. Udinar's kind of doesn't, so it just seems more useful. Since
So
I'm not
it's
actually capped out,
It sounds
Sorry.
like you want it.
I'm restarting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm restarting the client
Oh, okay.
Okay.
because it's
So then
totally.
it sounds like because Egg wants it and Udinar doesn't care, Egg gets the gauntlets.
Yeah, no, I'm good with that. Also,
Okay.
keep in mind that you can't go above 19 with them. So
Yeah.
if
Okay.
you want to go 20 and up, you'll have to take them off anyway.
Gotcha.
But yeah, go ahead
Okay,
and add that to
so-
your inventory. So you'll be at 19.
So that's done. All right, you guys have now brought back senior researcher Ornegus Beloran. He kind of lets you know that his specialty just so happened to be the research and discovery and locations of various magical items and relics, and that once he returns to his lab, he would be more than happy to help you. Just that, you have to understand he can't come down here and back and forth on a regular basis because it's still not safe. Wow.
Somebody's angry.
Yeah. So basically he's like, I'm gonna go live in my lab until you make it safe. But in the interim, he's going to do his best to see if he can find out once you guys kind of tell him where you are and what you need, he's like, okay, I'll go see if I can find anything that's supposed to be in this region. So in that interest, you guys will have a couple more days, I'd say, while he digs through his various notes. So if there's anything else you wanted to take care of, learn about, try, fiddle with, etc., you have 2 days to do so.
Okay, prayer beads, let's go.
Can I have
Okay.
a conversation with Lola when you get
I'm
his
sure you-
beads for him?
Yeah. So once you've attuned to them, because attunement just kind of tells you what things do, you find that it has 5 magical beads. You have... Oh, I clicked on the wrong item here. Where is the prayer beads? One effect is Greater Restoration. That is the Aquamarine. The Pearl is a 2nd level Cure Wounds or Lesser Restoration, and you have 2 pearls. The Topaz is Bless. And Bloodstone is Branding Smite. And it's literally Necklace of Prayer Beads. It should be an item that's in the...
Oh, okay. My question for you is it like a consumable where it uses it up?
No, but if you read it, it'll even tell you. So,
Okay.
like,
I'll read it while
the
you do
DM
the
decides
other
blah blah
stuff.
blah necklace. To use one, you have to be wearing the necklace. Each one contains a spell you can cast from it as a bonus action using your spell save DC if a save is necessary. Once the magic's bead spell is cast, it can't be used again until the next dawn. So basically once per long rest.
Fucking dope. All right.
Damn,
Yeah,
that's
really.
real good.
That's a bonus. That's like my weak point, is my bonuses aren't amazing.
I mean,
Not anymore.
Spirit Guardians and Spirit Weapon are both incredible bonus actions.
Yeah, but they're leveled spells, so
Yeah.
it's weird.
Well,
Well,
hey,
I
now
mean-
you have greater restoration on a once per day.
Well, yeah. Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
the point being, like, you get Spirit Weapons out, and then it doesn't count as a leveled spell to keep it as a bonus action.
Right.
And most of your damage comes from your cantrips anyway.
Yeah.
Your sustained damage. Anyway, so Lola, sure, let's chat.
So I know your memory is a bit fuzzy, given the time, but do you happen to recall a, let's say, surly fellow, gravelly voice, tentacles and fog?
She's gonna look at you. She's gonna look you up and down. Gonna purse her lips and say, "Fuzzy is an understatement." Before today, I would have told you that I have no idea. I have zero recollection. I have no such ability to recall events beyond what happened here, perhaps even a few weeks ago, or maybe even a century ago. Interestingly enough, however, it seems as though when I provided the relic to Spira to return Ornegas to his form, some very vague bits of my memory have returned. That being said, unfortunately, no, I don't have an answer to your question there. I don't recall that, but I do recall a few things that I thought were lost to me.
Sorry, looking at my notes here. And what'd you say that crab name was?
I'm sorry? Spira?
No, the name you said.
What do you mean? What name? The Drow researcher, Ornegas?
Yeah, that's is that the researcher that was brought back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, then I spelled his name wrong the first time. That's why I was confused.
Ornagus, Ornegas.
So no recollection of when the city was birthed.
Is that what you're after? No. Unfortunately, my memory doesn't go back quite so far. Perhaps in time, as more of the city's functions are restored, I can answer more of your questions. But for now, I can tell you what my favorite drink was. And that I had a favorite drink, for that matter.
Are we talking spirits or wine?
Something to that effect, yes. Gives you a sadistic little smirk. Something about it is just sinister to you.
Hmm. Maybe by chance I have it, and I'm gonna pull out. I have some of the bottles on me, not all of them.
She, her eyes kind of get like curious as you pull out several bottles. For any of the specific ones I gave you, no. She looks through them and says, "An impressive haul, but no. What I thirst for is quite different. A spirit, yes, but none of these."
Does it have a name? I can keep an eye out.
In the common tongue, they may have called it spider's blood.
Wait, didn't we
Damn.
have that?
Yeah.
Isn't that what we gave the dwarf?
Yeah.
That fucker. Well, I know where a bottle is. Getting it is tricky.
Kind of shrugs and says, "Well, I would certainly appreciate it, but you owe me nothing."
More of a gesture of good faith if you happen upon some more memories of the creation of the city. I happen to know an interested party.
Interesting. I would be happy to accommodate. I am relieved to finally have another soul to speak with. It's been so long. You restore my memory, and I, free of charge, will tell you what I remember.
Well, I appreciate that, but I'm sure you'd be more happy to share a story over a drink.
He shrugs and says, "Who isn't?"
Well, thanks for your time. We're going to go leave for a few weeks to find some more magic items.
Smiles and kind of puts her hands out at either side, like, "Well, all right, I'll see you when I see you." As you're kind of turning and walking away, she'll call it and say, "Best of luck. We are happy to have the creators return to us."
Sidebar.
Quite a lofty title, but okay. Yes, sidebar.
Do we need to give Ornegas do we need to take him back to the lab like
No,
as protection?
I'm
can
I'm
he just
assuming
get
that
there
you
on
guys
his
have done
own?
that. No,
Okay.
I'm hand waving that you've done it. Just
Okay.
because if I don't, we will get bogged down in that combat for so long that we'll never get anywhere.
Just imagine little skinny nerdy drow making his way through the dark on his own.
Actually, being a drow male, he's on the portly side. Which, I mean, you might consider to be like average for a human, but as far as drow are concerned, he thick.
Are we still in this 2-day time?
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else?
Yeah, I'm gonna use one of those beads right away after I attune to get my fucking hit points back.
You use one of the beads to cast Greater Restoration?
Yep.
Let me look at the effect of Greater Restoration. Greater Resto. Blah, blah, or in one of the following effects. Yep. That is literally one of the effects. So
Nice.
you've regained your hit point maximum.
Hell yeah.
Can you do me next?
Maybe
Well,
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Took him
Spent
one
the
day to attune to it.
Yep.
Yeah. And second day doing his business.
Did we want to go see the druids for any reason?
I mean, we've kind of seen them and I imagine told them what's going on since they got here. But if there's something specific we want to talk to them about.
Well, I mean, they were kind of in the business of using relics, so they might have info on where something new might have cropped up past the giant mask.
Do you want to go ask him about Red Shore? So that we don't have to go over there?
I love how this started off with maybe we could go see Red Shore and see how they're doing to you do it. Get the druids to tell them. Who fucking cares?
Look, we did it. Spira, you're welcome.
Yeah. Side note, you owe us.
Side note, you owe us.
Let me have that sword back.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be easy to get in contact with the dwarf captain, huh?
The
From
captain of the
crab.
wet dog.
Mm-hmm.
Odds are I mean, if you went out to the coastline, you might be able to spot his ship. You guys did pay him to come back for you after a certain amount of time. Of course, that time has come and passed. So at this point, yeah, give me a percentile. Just roll it. Sure. You go out to the coast on, say, your second day, while you're waiting for Ornegas to get back to you. Would anybody go with Darby?
I would realistically probably not.
Okay.
So.
Egg would go with him.
Okay. So Egg and Darby have left the Chamber of the Heart. You will be reminded, of course, Udanar and Egg, that you are only allowed in the Chamber of the Heart because you are guests of the creators. So thankfully, Pedalin's still there. So Udanar can stay. But Egg and Darby, you head out. You're just kind of out at the coastline, which is thankfully largely a lot safer now, just because some of the protective magics of Spear have kind of kicked in. The very base level ward. So anything that's big might be able to burst through if it wanted to. It would just be unpleasant. And sure enough, out fishing, maybe, I don't know, a mile offshore, you spot a ship that looks to be the Wet Dog.
Well, there he is.
Now, how to get his attention?
I could run over there.
I mean, I can swim there.
But I think it would be grab his attention more if he saw someone running at him.
Technically, can't I swim faster than he can run?
I don't know.
Because
How
my
fast
swim
can you
speed
swim?
would be 40 with the ring. As a dash, that would be 80.
Can you dash swimming?
I mean, I would say yes, because dashing is just using your action to take a second move
To do
action.
more, yeah.
Yeah.
Can I dash action then bonus action dash?
Technically, yes.
So, yes, I can swim there faster than you can run there.
Then do it.
All right, I guess I'm swimming out to the wet dog.
I thought this
That's
would be a fun,
race.
brotherly race, but
Yeah.
I mean, you can catch up if you want.
Egg will run. He doesn't believe.
okay.
Doesn't believe Isaac.
Okay.
Can you like bonus action runner? Like, do you have something you could do to go faster? Damn.
He's not hasted this time.
You suck, Egg. You got
Hey, you're
shown
not
up.
there.
Yep. Nothing about dash says you can only use it once per turn, so you can actually double dash.
That's
so,
hilarious.
let's see. That's how many feet per round?
120.
Okay.
Swim 120 feet in 6 seconds.
What's a mile?
Okay.
5,000 and some odd.
It's 5,200 and some odd.
Yeah. So let's say just 5,200 minus 120, or divided by 120, not minus 120. 43 rounds, which is 6 seconds each. 260 seconds.
It's less than 5 minutes.
Yeah. You can swim a mile in under 5 minutes.
Oh my god.
That's 4 minutes
It's
and
like an
change.
Evinrude motor out there.
Yeah.
I like this
Okay.
image in my head of fucking Darby just like swimming like a shark on crack or something. And
Yeah.
just like steadily just walking at a like not even a brisk
Mhm.
pace, just like whatever, just walking on the water.
All right, I'm sorry. I
Oh,
have to look at
man.
this. Ring of swimming. Is it you really just is it your move speed or is it 40 feet? You have a swim speed of 40 feet while wearing this ring. Okay, sure enough.
That's crazy.
Yep. All right.
Wow.
So in 4 minutes from the shoreline of Spira, is there anything in the water that wants to eat you? Let's
Oh
see.
god.
Wow. Okay, nothing. You are unmolested as you swim to the wet dog.
Can it catch me? Is the question. If something did attack me.
I don't know. I bet something in there could potentially go that fast.
A Mako shark, maybe.
I mean, it depends on, is it coming from you head on? Is it coming from behind you? It's in the
True.
water. You wouldn't know.
And that's why I hate the ocean.
But the point is, the dice said no. You do not get attacked in the water. And so, Egg, how fast are you moving now? You're moving, what, 60 feet per round?
That is how far I'm moving, yes.
So you're double the amount of time. So you'll show up 5 minutes later. Sure. There's probably something that says you can't move your full sprint speed for that long, but I don't really care. This one time we're gonna let it happen. So, Darby, you show up at the wet dog. I'm assuming you haul yourself overboard.
Well, I'm gonna yell from the water, not just gonna appear on a man's boat.
All right. Well, at least you've got some modicum of respect there. A bleary-eyed, confused lab pops its head over the side and drops what looks to be some sort of like just like a little ball into the water where you are, and looks at you expectantly and begins to bark.
Blech.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How high up is the boat from the water?
It's a little like just a shitty fishing boat, so not super far. Mm.
I mean, I guess I'll take the ball and just toss it back past the dog.
All right. You toss the ball. The dog watches it sail overhead. A few seconds later, you hear a loud splash, followed with some dwarven curses, and you can make out the comment in between. He's just swearing. He's like, "Oh, going overboard again, you damn mutt! You're just gonna scare off all the fish." The dog's barking the whole time, and he's like, "What are you, He's like, "What are you fucking barking at anyway?" And so he hauls the wet dog back overboard, drags himself over to the other railing, and sees Darby in the water, and just pure confusion as he looks around and sees that there's no land anywhere within a mile. And is like, how in the bloody hells have you gotten here? And what do you want? I thought you were dead.
Well, clearly I'm very much alive, and I swam here.
Uh-huh. And what do you need from me then?
Permission to come aboard, have a chat.
Granted, he he roots around a little bit, tosses a ladder over the side.
And climb up and say, "My
Mhm.
brother's on the way too. You'll see him walking up."
Well, wonders never cease in this era, do they? First magic returns, and now men are swimming up to my boat. Or, as you said, walking up to my boat a mile from the shore. And the shore, mind you, is a giant crab. So, I need a drink. How about you?
One of the reasons why I came here, and I'll pull out a couple of the elven bottles.
Oh, even better. You're providing. Excellent. And he'll push over a box and gesture for you to take a seat and do the same himself. He says, "What brings you to my humble little craft?"
And I'll actually take out the real glasses that I have and put out 3 of them and pour one for Egg as well for when he eventually shows up.
Sure.
Well, I've come to discuss the bottle that I had given you before.
Oh, there's no takebacks here. That is some fine liquor you've brought me. Packs a real punch.
Oh, I'm well aware, and I was sad to give it up. However, it's not for me this time. Happened upon a drow lass who's in the middle of the city, and she happened to mention this drink by name. I'm hoping
Well,
to get
Drow's
some
a funny
information
name.
from her.
Says, well, Drow's a funny name, but I'm not surprised it's some lass that's got you crawling back after a gift you gave me.
It's less
already
about
told
the
you.
lass, but more about the information she knows. So I'm hoping to make a barter.
Well, you're going to be hard-pressed to find something that would be better than that. I'm loath to give it up. What have you got?
What, I had the 5 bottles of weird elven stuff.
Yeah.
What else do I have on me?
He sits back and sips at what you poured him like a man who knows that he's holding all the cards. Meanwhile, feel a firm, rhythmic thumping against your leg beneath the makeshift table.
I'm sorry, our player chat has me distracted a bit. Well, I'll start by offering the 5 bottles.
He says 5-1. That's a good start, but
It's a good
what
start.
else have you got?
This fucker. Oh, I love it.
You don't get to be a scurvy dwarf without knowing if, when
Knowing
you've
how to
got the upper
barter.
hand.
Yeah.
Again, a scurvy dwarf with an absolute shit ship.
Hey, he's put us
It's-
through the ringer before.
Yeah.
Well, I might have something that may
He says,
interest you.
wait. Didn't you tell me that you were in that fancy business of artifact hunting? A relic hunter.
I suppose not directly, but I seem to have been pulled into it.
Well, that's what I recalled anyhow. Here's what I'll do for you. I'll take these here 5 bottles and a Yomi.
And what exactly are you looking for?
You find me, rather, not necessarily for me, you find me a magic ball that'll come back when I call it, so that Driftwood here will stop swimming out to sea every time he sees something he likes. At the mention of his name, the rhythmic thumping on your tail stops, and the small, wet, curly-haired head pops out from underneath, ball in mouth, looking expectantly at both of you.
Paul.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose I can keep an eye out, but
Well,
that's an awfully specific type of magical item.
like I said, it's a Yomi. You find me that ball for Driftwood here, and we'll call it even. You don't, maybe I change my mind and say Yomi something else.
Well, I've been part of worse deals. So sure, I'll keep an eye out.
He kicks his feet up on the table, takes the ball from Driftwood, rolls it along the deck. The dog goes scrambling after it, and he reaches down into the big leather pouch at his side, and he pulls out, sure enough, there's your bottle of spider blood. Thumps it on the table. You see that maybe 1 or 2 drinks are missing from the last time you saw it. And he's like, all right, it's yours. Don't forget, you owe me. And around this time, as you hear yet another splash, as Driftwood seems to have gone careening over the edge, it wasn't Driftwood. It seems to have been the ball, and Egg has arrived.
How do you swim so fast? And Egg sits down, out of breath.
Finish your drink. We're heading back.
God damn it. Egg just takes off immediately. Doesn't say hey to anyone.
I'll tell the captain that he can keep the glass, and I'll take the other 2 and jump into the water.
He tips his glass to you, and after you jump in, you hear a splash behind you a few moments later. You look over your shoulder, sure enough, it's Driftwood paddling after you.
Aw.
Cute.
Does he have the ball?
It's somewhere. When you held it, you're pretty sure that it was just like seal skin that was wrapped around something kind of buoyant, maybe cork. So probably something that the captain has made more than once.
Hmm. I mean, I feel bad. I don't want the dog to follow me. It's not going to swim a mile. I don't know, I'm just going to swim away from the dog and then
Yeah.
just swim past Egg, who's running.
Yeah. Sure enough, eventually you'll look behind you and see that Driftwood is being fished out of the water by the captain. You will eventually make it back to Spira. Let's see. Are you unmolested? Wow. Yeah, unmolested. Okay. So, you have found a lull in the activity around Spira, it seems, as you make it back to shore safely. Egg following 5 minutes later. In the interim, Udanar, knowing now what your Necklace of Prayer Beads does and having done your day, you and Petalin will be approached via a small messenger, like an unseen servant, I suppose, which carries with it a small note addressed to the creator in a flowing Elvish script.
I think it's for you.
Me? Okay.
I just kind of like point to it, like grab it, please.
All right, so I'll take the letter.
Mhm.
I could get used to this fancy title stuff.
I wouldn't.
Okay. I'll open it up.
Okay. Inside is a short but succinct note that says, "You are in luck. As it just so happens, in my vast research, we have unearthed at least one relic which should reside in this area, or as many years ago as I was last researching, it did. So, odds are it may still be there. Your task, or mission, should you choose to accept it." No, it says, "You're tasked with unearthing the tomb of the Twice King, banished ruler of the original Tolmuina Island. It is rumored that the king had a signet ring capable of controlling the blood of his enemies, and it is rumored that the Tolmuina elves were once his vassals, but led an uprising and cast him out. According to our research, his final resting place is somewhere nearby. The current, or rather, there is a ruined city or ruined empire, which is likely gone to rubble, somewhere near the vicinity of the village now called Treetop." Says, "You may come to my study for more information."
Excellent. It would seem that Ornegus has a lead for us.
Hmm.
We should go and speak to him.
Should we wait for the others or go ourselves?
Well, we could go ourselves.
Yeah, we don't know how
I'm
long they're gonna
assuming
be.
I was gonna say, I'm assuming they told you they were going out to the shoreline.
Yeah, for a while. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Okay. This is just the two of you. Oh wow. Okay. Keep my dog from eating dice. Also unharassed on your way to the lab, you eventually get inside, and you will find the portly little researcher darting back and forth with a myriad of various magical assistants, usually unseen servants and things like that. A couple of tiny servants, maybe. He's just, working up a storm, and there's like a strange life to the facility. It's almost like pages are being turned when nobody's even looking. Things are humming. Work is going along, and you can see that at least partially the stained glass in the port that Darby exploded is at least pieced back together, but not repaired. But he, is happy to have your audience. He bows low to Pedalin and then looks at Udunar and nods curtly and says, "Ah, yes, I see you received my informational note."
It was informational.
Yes. Yes, thank you for helping us with your research. We had a couple of questions about the Tomb of the Twice King, you called it?
Yes. Are you planning to ask them?
Well, you mentioned it's near Treetop. Is it to the south or the west or the east or
Well, based off of my
unspecified?
rudimentary understanding, it looks as though it would be shortly to the west. I was hoping that perhaps you had run into a ruined city or some such.
Perhaps a ruined guard tower or two. That might be a good place to start.
Straight up, did
I
we?
don't.
I can't remember now.
It was.
Sorry.
Sorry. It was right before we got to Treetop for the first time, and right after the murder mystery
Was this
we
where you
got
found the
teleported.
bracelet?
Yes, it's where I found the bracelet.
Okay, right. Okay.
At least that's what I'm thinking of. That would probably be where I would suggest we start looking anyway.
That's the closest thing I could think of.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because we were coming to Treetop from that direction, so it would make sense to me.
Gotcha.
I'm
Okay.
gonna say I'm glad that you decided to come and ask your questions because in the meantime I did unearth some additional information that I think would be helpful to you. As it turns out, the bangle that our creatoress, the Madame Petalin, has found just so happens to be one that was used to bind vassals to the will of the Twice King. It is activated by blood, but would only work for the creature which is attuned to the Master Bangle. My theory is that perhaps we could use the late Prince Valain's broken body to empower the Blood Bangle and enable you to unearth the tomb.
Ah, fascinating.
This
Uh,
seems
I-
dangerous.
I suppose we'd need to find his body for you.
Oh no, that would be a simple matter. It's still in the heart.
Oh. I
Found
did
him.
not write that down last time.
Right here.
Nailed it.
Next mission, please.
We did it, guys. Success.
Yeah.
Shine get. Okay. Okay, yeah. So I imagine would we need permission from the prince now residing in Norath's body to do so, or
The
we
researcher
just
just
go
kind of
ahead and-
shrugs. He just kind of shrugs and says, "That's up to you." In the in the interest of research, I have found it is often best to simply ask for forgiveness rather than permission. But we are of different cloth.
But at the very least, you would need us to bring the body from the heart here to you.
Well, or for you to simply acquire blood to activate the bangle.
But the prince has the bangle.
Oh, you gave it away?
As a gesture of goodwill?
Then I suppose
did
you will
say-
need to speak with him and retrieve it, as it is the key to unearthing the tomb, I believe. Again, based off my notes, it looks as though that may be the only way to find it, and is actually the reason why I believe it may still be there. There are many smaller relics or even relics of similar power that were mentioned in our libraries or our mini volumes, but the odds of them surviving the amount of time that you claim has passed, especially if our great work has now been taken up by the adventurers such as yourselves, are slim at best.
I see.
I have a quick question. Say we are to open up this tomb. What sort of defenses could we possibly encounter? I saw a sword fighting an infinite number of race in theory for hundreds of years that was just chilling out. So I kind of want to know what you guys do for like magic.
He'll kind of adjust his glasses, purse his lips, look at you meaningfully, and then just kind of shrug and say, "I couldn't tell you. The notes simply tell me of a location, a little bit of information, and unfortunately we have to rely on the old lore keepers and that their information was accurate."
Wonderful.
Relic hunting here at Spira is an art, you see, blended with science. The two are married together, and so on occasion we simply have to rely on our gut feelings and the information that is brought to us from wherever it was brought to us. And in this particular case, well, it seems as though the original lore hunter who took these notes is not with us any longer.
An understatement, it would seem.
Yes.
Okay. That fills me with confidence.
But I mean, you are, what is it you're calling yourselves now? Factors, are you not? Would that not mean that this is simply an average expectation in the line of duty?
For me, yes.
Sure.
Do you have any other questions for me in the interim, or can I get back to my research?
We may return before we set out, but only if we can bring you the blood and the bangle, I suppose.
You needn't bring it to me. It should be fairly clear how that object works. This was never really given in great detail because it wasn't something that was relevant at the time, but you can literally feed blood into like the scroll work of the bangle. Like and then there's a little capsule, like a little gemstone that can be filled up.
I seem to remember that, actually. That sounds familiar.
I gave you guys a visual description of what was going on, and I knew that this was its purpose, but you guys didn't have access to the blood, so I didn't really give you
Sure.
the purpose of it.
Well, we have a displaced prince to talk to then, I suppose.
Prince Villain has been hanging out outside of the tower, or outside of the city proper, mostly with the druids for now. But I guess you guys he would have told you, since he feels that he owes you something, that he is planning to depart to return home to notify his people that he has succeeded in the great quest.
Well, we should go and try to catch him before he leaves.
Agreed. Let's go.
Okay.
Any other questions about the Twice King or finding the tomb or anything like that?
Well, again, we might come back. I just want to make sure that we go and talk to the prince before he leaves.
So is that the goal now?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I need to give it a think and come up with some questions.
Yeah, I don't love the two of us going to the city limits alone, but we need to catch up. I agree.
And if we get to the city limits, then we can meet up with the other two.
True.
And then go back to talk to Ornagus.
True. Okay.
The dice are in your favor. You do make it outside of the city, uncontested. Like seriously, I've rolled blanks every time I've rolled these dice.
Neat.
I know, right? It's great because it's not slowing us down. But anyway, so you make it outside the city. Do you want to try to find Isaac and Egg, or do you want to go straight to Prince Villain?
Straight to Prince Villain.
Agreed.
Okay. You track down the body-swapped prince. You can see that they are definitely preparing to leave, though it doesn't look like they're leaving tonight. It looks like they're probably leaving in a few days. You catch him in conversation with Grills, who is looking, after his most recent interaction with the Great Relic of Spira, pretty drained himself. He looks much older, is very tired. Showing his weariness through with the lack of an arm and all that jazz. But they seem to just be chatting about nothing in particular as you approach.
Okay, well, I'll call out to them in greeting as we go up. Sure, they'll recognize us. I'll kind of elbow Udnar as we go up.
Grills raises his one hand and kind of waves you both over and motions to what looks to be a small meal of fish that they have probably likely just caught today. Some sort of drink, likely pilfered from the city itself. Yes, Grills would say, have you just come to join us for dinner, or was there something you needed?
Well, we did come to speak to His Highness briefly. How go your preparations to return home?
Gruffly, he says, well, with just myself and Norath, as it were, in his state, slow, but we will be gone soon enough. If I had a few more hands, or if a few of my people had survived, then we likely would have been gone a day or two ago.
Well, we might be able to lend you some assistance should you need it.
It's simply a matter of hands on the deck, so unless you're planning to travel with me, I don't see how it would be much help.
Ah,
We have to make adjustments to the ship so that I can pilot it myself and by myself.
Makes sense. Listen, I'm gonna not beat around the bush. That thing we gave you, we need it back. We're doing a thing.
as my
A thing?
as my friend is saying here, we're also making plans to leave the island, and we're wondering if we might be able to borrow the bangle that I gave you.
Borrow, he says.
Well,
Is that
Well,
right?
I'm a she, but yes.
No, borrow says the prince. He
Oh,
says
okay.
borrow.
well, not exactly borrow. We don't intend to give it back, most likely.
And would you perhaps slake my curiosity as to what you could possibly need one of my family's ancestral items for?
Have you heard of the Twice King?
No, but you can roll insight.
I will do the same. Oh, I just used the thing to roll to you, right?
Yes,
Oh, right.
the tower. And you can drag and drop the tower, by the way. Like you can move it so that
Mine
it's closer
won't-
to the window.
Mine won't do the thing. Maybe it's an unlock. I'll deal with that later. Anyway.
Okay. So it says no. Udanar, you catch a very slight tell. Like he bristles when she says the name, but he kind of shakes it off really quickly and says, "No, I'm sorry. It's not something I'm familiar with."
Are you sure about that?
He looks at you with a kind of a stare down. He says, "Deadly."
Well, I won't push it any further. We just need that bangle and we'll be on our way.
We are going in search of the tomb so in order to find more items that may give more aid to restoring the city.
Takes a moment, nods, starts to remove the bangle, and says, I do hope you know what you're potentially getting yourselves into. Relic
Wait,
hunting
what do
is
you
a
mean?
dangerous game. Relic hunting is a dangerous game.
We have all been in our fair share of danger lately. Thank you for your concern, Your Highness.
Hand you the bangle and says, now, again, slake my curiosity. How is it you intend to activate the item?
I look over at Pedalin.
Well, Ornegas didn't tell us much, but he thought that he might be able to find a way to make it work.
Go ahead and roll bluff for me.
Don't you need his blood?
She's not telling him.
Hmm.
He shrugs and says, well, very well. I'm inclined to trust the researchers here.
Oh, okay.
Well, thank you again, Your Highness. And if you do need any help preparing your ship, I can ask a couple of my companions who have some experience with such things to help you.
He waves you away and says, no, it won't be necessary. Much of the manual labor, I have had the assistance of these kind druids here. Again, it is simply a matter of teaching myself what I need to know to navigate the ship uh, by oneself. Unfortunately, I believe Norath won't be much help in the matter.
Is little Norath around here somewhere? Like, can we see him?
I'm sure you can.
I'd like to go over.
He would never be far from the prince.
I would like to go over to him and pat him on the head and say, "Thank you again for saving us when you did."
You get some sort of grumbly growl out of him. You aren't entirely sure what it means, but you can make whatever assumption you want.
Okay. Well, we should probably get going, but can I speak with you in private for a moment, Prince? I say as I start walking towards him away from Petalin.
He lets out a sigh and sets his drink and what remains of one of the fish he's eating down and says, "Very well. I won't be here long enough. I suppose it doesn't hurt to have a conversation."
I just
Meander on over.
Yeah, I just walk beside him and just kind of like under my breath say, I don't care what involvement you have with this thing or whatever. I just need to know what we're getting into. It seems like you might know a little more than you're letting on with this Twice King thing.
When you say Twice King, you catch that same bristle, and he kind of there's this brief glimpse where the mask kind of falls back over his face, where he smiles and chuckles and says, "Oh no, just it's similar. It's eerily similar to a name that was told in an old story when we were just children. It's nothing, I'm sure."
I'm going to roll this to you and just say to him, it's for your people, your highness. Anything I need to know before we continue would be greatly appreciated.
His shoulders kind of slump, and he lets out a long sigh. He's like, "Look, it's just an old tale, but supposedly there was once a ruler on the island of my people that well, I mean, the tale as we're told is that he'll come and take the blood of the children who disobey or misbehave and make them his puppets in his kingdom." But like I said, it's just an old tale and simply brought back some unpleasant childhood memories.
Indeed. Folklore.
Nothing more.
Well then, I bid you farewell and thank you for your help.
Of course, and best of luck to you as well. I'm sure, well, perhaps in a few months' time or a year, we might meet again.
I certainly hope we do.
Good luck, Master. I don't know that I ever did catch your name, or what you are specifically.
Cleric.
Cleric. Well, farewell, Master Cleric.
Farewell, your highness.
What
Let's
now?
go.
Okay, I guess we'll go in search of the other two after bidding a fond farewell to Grills. Or wait, should we ask Grills any questions about where we're going? Yes, we should. Grills! While the Prince and Udinar are over there having a little chat.
Mm-hmm.
Have you or any of the other druids ever come across in your travels through the woods to the west of Treetop any abandoned towers or ruins?
Between mouthfuls, he says, "Yeah, there's a huge battlefield out there. Why?"
might be going in search of another relic there soon, and I was wondering if you'd ever seen anything that might look like an entrance to, I don't know, maybe a cave or perhaps a series of tombs or.
He says, I'm pretty sure if we had, we would have plundered them ourselves, but hold on. And he waves for another druid with his good arm, and somebody hurries over and like, yes, Master Grills. He says, this gnome here, she has a question for you. And he kind of gives you an explanation. He's like, oh, this druid, he patrols the area around Treetop primarily. He is
Okay, so
the Western Warden.
Same question directed at this gentleman.
He thinks for a moment. He's like, no, nothing like that. There is, however, a cliff nearby that kind of overlooks the battlefield, and there's an old stone tablet there. It's got an inscription on it, but I've never. I don't read the language, unfortunately, so I don't recognize the script. I can't tell you what it says. If anything, that's likely the only thing that stands out, other than the fact that, again, huge battlefield there, gigantic.
We've passed near that battlefield and saw a few kind of skeletons and corpses wandering around. Is that pretty typical for that area?
I mean, since the disappearance of the Death Singer, yes.
How dangerous would you say it is there?
No more or less so than any other area infested with the Walking Dead.
Don't we know it?
Because honestly, it's likely, I mean, being an old battlefield, there is an abundance of corpses, both new and old, and somewhere that I would avoid, at least until either the Death Singer returns or somebody else can take up the mantle. Though, honestly, I don't know how that could happen. Nobody really fully understands the Death Singer.
The pity. He's disappeared.
Well, Grill seems to think that there were some factors who may have taken it upon themselves to attack the poor soul.
Did you say that the cliffs near the battlefield were to the west of it?
They would be to the... Have it open. To the southeast.
To the southeast. Excellent. And then I guess a better question for Grills is, are there any boats headed back to the mainland in the next couple of days that we can hitch a ride on?
Kind of looks around and looks at you and says, no, we don't use boats. We're all druids.
Well, then could you ask someone to send a boat from Treetop? Please.
He says, you can't take one of the ships in the Spira harbor?
There's a harbor?
Yes.
Where's the harbor?
In the outer ring of the city?
Can you point me in the direction?
He's from the hill we're sitting on, and you can kind of overlook the city. He says, all right, see the wall there? And there's the gap where we've been slipping through. If you go straight back that way and hug the left wall there, just never take your hand off the wall, you'll run into the harbor.
All right, well. I'm sure Egg will be thrilled with that one. All right.
Giant crab city, no harbor.
Well, unless Udinar has any other questions for Grills or whatever, I'm good to go.
I do not.
Well, thank you two again for your time and the fish. And we'll see you again soon, I'm sure.
Sure, this is around the time that Udinar makes his way back up. You guys take your leave. I'm going to assume that you exchange information.
Yes.
Yep.
Is there anything specific that you want to say to the other?
Not specifically, no.
Okay.
Just that we
And
need
so
to come
then-
up with a game plan when we meet the other two.
And
I
is
will
the
s-
current game plan to go meet up with the other two?
I think
Yes.
so. Okay.
Okay.
I will specifically tell him about the tablet that we are going to be looking for on the cliffs, and that he should be prepared to be putting down a great deal of undead.
It's the reason for my existence.
I thought you might like that.
Yeah.
Better go find these two crazy brothers.
But what if he hates putting down the undead and it's just his purpose?
Yeah.
Well, one should enjoy one's own purpose.
That's the
Good,
dream.
yes. Anyway. All right, so you guys eventually, let's say you'll track down Darby and Egg, who by this point have likely recovered from their escapades, though Darby might still be a touch wet.
So we'll fill them in on the game plan,
And
and that we need to
around,
return to the heart.
say around this time, like maybe they've been there for half an hour, and who knows what they're talking about. But Darby goes to fish something out of one of his pockets and finds a small ball-like object that is sealskin wrapped around cork.
The funniest things you pull out of those pockets.
Well, I didn't mean to steal this one. Speaking of, while we're out and about, I need to find some sort of magical thing that's a ball or something of the sort that comes back on command.
Why?
What?
I made a deal with that dwarf. I needed to get my bottle back.
Why? I thought you were just going for a few drinks.
I can't believe you found it.
Few drinks were had, yes, but it was mostly for a negotiation for our friend at the heart.
Ooh, does somebody have a crush?
Hmm.
Say what you will.
Lola and Darby sitting in the heart.
Speaking of the heart, it seems like we have a body there that we need to wring out like a wet towel, so
I wouldn't say ring out. But yes, we do need to go there. And you can see your girlfriend.
So why did she send you out on an errand for alcohol?
Booty call, probably.
He wants to ply her with spirits.
Hmm.
it wasn't an errand, but drinks make for loose lips.
Among other things.
Wow.
Pedalin's lonely, guys.
Yeah, no kidding. Where's that book that she was reading?
Right?
It's really very dry. It's not that great a book.
Mm. None of them are.
Yeah, this
Can I
book's
give her
pretty good.
the book on dwarven mating rituals, or was it?
Yeah.
Ugh, dwarves.
I was gonna give it to the captain. I forgot about it.
Oh, god damn it. Next time.
Instead of bringing him a ball, you're just gonna bring him porn.
It's pretty much the same, let's be real. Alright, well, since you've acquired another debt, I'm sure we can find something along the way. That's whatever.
Just something to keep an eye out for.
Sure. I agree. Oh.
All right, to the heart.
It's probably nothing, but there might be like some weird vengeful spirit king that can control people's blood. Let's just be wary, alright?
It seemed like it was kind of important to mention earlier, maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna ask actually. Do Darby and Egg even know anything?
Well,
I'd be
we
telling
said
them
in the
about
beginning that we
what's
met
going on.
them that
Okay,
we would give them
okay.
the game plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Luckily, it's
I don't want
just
to be a
an old
blood slave.
Luckily, it's just a fairy tale. Apparently, drow tell their children because they're insane, but, you know, maybe it's something we should watch out for.
I'm nervous. I leak blood often.
Oh. Something tells me that these elves aren't overly interested in human blood.
My blood could be anywhere.
Well, hopefully it's only in one place, inside your body.
Oh, that's definitely not true.
It's often in many places.
It's kind of everywhere. Okay. So, back to the heart, I guess?
Yes.
Wait, are there any objections from you two about this tomb raiding adventure?
It's the only lead we've got.
Technically
Other
not
than the
true.
blood thing.
It's the best lead we've got.
There you go.
Darby, I'm glad to see that you're joining the factoring life with us.
I mean, I found a magic item or two. Granted, they may have belonged to others.
Come on, admit it. You like us.
I mean, also what he just said may have raised a couple of bells or red flags in both Petalin and Egg. Darby may have just outed himself as a black factor. I don't know if you remember from session 0 what black factors are.
Yep. Egg is gonna ignore it for now.
Petalin's gonna squint suspiciously, but ignore it.
All right.
I don't
Right.
It's
love
less
it.
about liking you. It's more about tolerating you because my brother happens to be friends with you.
Aw, so sweet. Anyway, to the heart.
And then what?
Then I'm gonna take one of these many daggers off of my belt, and I'm gonna prick him gently, like on a finger or something. Be respectful. His body was once a prince. We'll put it in the bangle.
Okay. And then what?
Does it do anything?
It begins to glow brightly.
Ooh.
All right. let's go.
Well, I think we ought to go talk to Ornagus now.
Okay. I mean, if Rumble's gonna do the drink swapping thing, it would be now, so we should do that.
Yeah. Well, are you sure that's going to be enough blood?
I suppose it wouldn't hurt to take a vial or two.
Do you
We
have
do
any
have vials, don't we? I'm almost certain we have vials somewhere. Hang on, and I'll open up.
I'm going to go take the dagger out of my boot, and then I'm going
Oh,
to cut the hand off, and then like whatever drips out, I'm going to catch it into one of the vials that I have.
Oh my god,
Okay.
we had 6 empty vials in the hole. You didn't have to take his whole hand.
Well, no, this is faster for filling a vial.
You fill a vial with the blood from the corpse of the dead prince, or rather, the husk of the dead prince.
All right.
Neat.
So we have a vial of blood.
Gross.
Lola watches this and just kind of arches an eyebrow.
You know what? I'm going to fill a second vial for good measure.
Probably wise.
It is royal
You never
blood.
know.
Mhm.
Are you putting those in your inventory or in the hole?
In my inventory.
Okay.
Actually, I will
vials
give
of-
one of the vials to someone else.
I can take it since I've got the doodad. I've got the bangle.
Right? You now possess 2 vials of Prince Valain Lothanar's blood. Now what?
I guess I'm going to head up to Lola as well.
Okay.
And I'm going to give her
As-
the...
I was gonna say, as you approach, she kind of holds her hands up and says, "I don't have royal blood."
Oh, no, it's not. That's for something else. Don't worry about that.
Never mind that you're covered in blood. Meanwhile,
I've been
Pedalin's
covered in worse.
Meanwhile, Pedalin is
going for the-
prestidigitating herself so that she's not covered in blood.
He's going for the sexy vampire look.
She's into it.
I'm going to give her the bottle of spider blood and then the 2 glass cups that I had.
Mm-hmm.
Tell her I managed to track it down. Took a bit of debt, but this would be safer in your hands than in mine.
She looks at you with a very piercing stare and says, "I would imagine that you're no stranger to debt, Master Darby."
It's nothing new.
She says,
But
well,
what creek doesn't have a few bends in it?
this is true and appreciated. Again, I told you you owe me nothing, but it will be nice to relive some past pleasures.
Well, you enjoy yourself. Hopefully there's enough left to share a drink by the time we get back.
Perhaps, if you are successful, then we will have a reason to share a drink. Anything
Well,
else?
Be well. We're off to kill some blood wizard, I guess.
Didn't Pedalin
It's
want
a
to talk to the
two-
geek again?
I did want to talk to the geek again.
Okay.
What do you want to talk to him about?
Okay, so we have this thing. It's glowing. How do we use it? Does somebody need to wear it? Do we just use it like a divining rod? Like what are we doing?
He lowers his spectacles and pinches the bridge of his nose and looks up at you and says, "Madam Creator, I do not have all of the answers. I only have what was provided to me, which I have thus provided to you." The bangle is the key to unearthing the tomb. What else can I tell you except what I already have?
Very well. We will leave you to your studies.
That, I think, would be best.
However, I
Okay.
am not a madam. I am a lady. Or even a mistress, but not a madam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Missy.
Egg, shut up.
All right,
Shutting up.
Let's go to the dilapidated city. Or town, or whatever. The ruins.
First, we gotta find the harbor.
We still have the storage ring.
Yes.
We forgot about that when we were going through.
Who?
The storage room. What?
I thought that, didn't Madame Beldam have the storage ring?
No, because you took it off her body to put the horn into, but she still has the giant's wallet.
Oh.
Holy shit, you're right.
I thought that
I
ring was
don't
one of
have
the
that-
items that was given up because of the character swap.
Oh.
I don't have it in my inventory anywhere.
Okay, this is a you guys
That
thing.
was one of the things that was not on her person because they took it to carry the horn when she was unconscious.
So
Hmm.
what items did Beldam take with her? Or I
Definitely
suppose
the giant's
Lena?
wallet.
Giant's
Right.
wallet, and then, well,
Headband.
the
The
headband,
headband.
the Ifriti bottle with one charge left,
And
Mhm.
the
immovable rod that's
the
gone forever.
Yeah. Well, she didn't take the immovable rod. The immovable rod is gone. We'll circle back to that. I'm not sure if that's something that I originally wanted to be like that was the cost of her leaving or not. I understand that Pedalin took it, but we'll address that at the end of the session.
If we don't get that back because we didn't even think of it, that's fine because we should have paid attention to that. But okay, circling back.
Mm-hmm. So, nobody seems to have told Egg and Darby the plan of traveling by boat.
We were saving it till the last second.
Oh, okay. So you traverse the city, sneaking as best you can through it. One good thing is that you don't have to fear the automatons of the city anymore. Simply only the revenants inside, the wraiths and vengeful spirits. So sneaking along is much easier, which again is why we haven't really run into any combat here. So sure enough, eventually you do reach a rather modest harbor, honestly. Of which there are maybe one or two ships in good standing order. Preserved in time.
Here we are.
What? Nobody said anything about boats.
Egg, how else are we gonna get off this godforsaken crab?
You just swim, and I'll walk.
Okay,
I can't swim
we'll meet
that
up with you.
far.
Let's go, guys.
Look at how tiny my arms are. I can't swim that far.
Like dog paddling.
I'm gonna be dog paddling the whole way.
Well, Darby's more than happy to steal a boat. Can I give you like a water vehicle check to like investigate the two boats and see which one is in better shape?
Yeah.
I don't like that laugh on a hit and roll.
You choose one of the two and you say this one should serve our needs. It's a smaller craft, so it should be easier to pilot. As you're taking a look around, Pedalin might point out that the name of the ship is the Seaflower in Elvish, which I'm not sure how to pronounce.
Very pretty.
but this is how it is written.
Egg is going to ask Darby for a bottle of the strongest stuff he has on him.
All I've got left is this shitty liquor from the first house we broke into. I gave the rest to that dwarf.
All right, I'll have to do.
You gave all your liquor to the dwarf? Ooh. And you owe him a circle that comes back to him? Oh, man.
You
apparently
got hosed.
It's Ialut is how that's pronounced.
Neat. I sure hope giving her that drink was worth it, my friend. Yikes.
From what I
We'll
saw
see
that
in time.
conversation, it sure wasn't.
Well, time will
Darby's
tell.
gonna look around for some paint or some tar. Even will do.
Sure.
Okay. He's gonna go overwrite the name of the ship.
No, don't do that. It's bad luck. Probably.
Is that a thing?
Technically, yes.
Oh, okay.
But Pedalin wouldn't know that, which is why she said probably.
Right. Mhm.
He's gonna overwrite it, and it's gonna be the
Oh,
not stolen.
No, you can't use that name. I have plans for that.
Do you?
Yes,
That's
Oh,
our
yay, we
ship
get
name.
I know.
time
I
to come up with a. Or rather, we could just keep the Elut. Since we
No, I'm
can't
just gonna
use not
overwrite
stolen.
the boat name and leave it nameless.
I'm
that's
not
even-
getting on a nameless boat.
That sounds like even more bad luck.
Is that a,
Well, I think,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think Pedalin would even have the inclination of understanding boat luck, but Egg would. And of course, Darby would as well. So if either Egg or Darby have an issue with getting on a nameless vessel,
Egg has an
or
issue with
even
it.
Egg has
Yeah.
issues with boats in general.
True.
Yeah.
right,
So it's not you're not helping Egg get over his fears by messing with the name of this boat. Stop
I'm gonna
trying to
leave it
change the
nameless
name.
'cause we
It's
are
bad enough we
sealing
have to
it.
get on a boat. Not getting on a cursed boat.
We're just going ashore.
Then
You'll
don't
survive.
rename it. Just
I'd
keep the
rather
name.
have no name than a name that I can't read.
You can read it. It's just
I mean, you
And
can
they could-
always just I'm going to say that you've already tarred over it because otherwise
Mhm.
Egg wouldn't have had the reaction.
Right.
Yeah.
So it needs a name.
paint the old name back.
Just paint sea flower in common.
That's fine.
Because
Uh,
then
the
it's
other-
the same name.
Are
Egg
you-
agrees with this.
Are you done with your silly superstitions? Let's go.
Just write sea flower on it.
What's with all this naming horse hockey anyway? The gods look over us. Let's go. I go onto the ship.
Well, the nameless ship already has a passenger.
Nobody's afraid to
Egg.
go into a blood tomb, but you're all afraid to get on some fucking wood because it's not named.
Yes.
all right. Pedalin gets on the
Accurate.
boat.
Egg is gonna paint on Seaflower.
Thank you, Egg.
Alright.
Just like
All
draw
right,
a
the-
picture
the
of a
ship is-
flower.
And then he's gonna eat, and then he's gonna
We
under
don't
that
want it.
he's gonna paint in the old name in Elvish in parentheses.
as best he can.
Yes, as
Do you
best he can.
misspell
So
it, though?
probably looks like it probably just is completely illegible.
I mean, it would be
Doesn't
legible.
have
It's
that-
just gonna Yeah, it
Yeah.
was like a fine, perfectly flowing, almost cursive script, and now it's blocky.
Uh-huh.
Instead of being the Eolute, it's the Eolute. All right. So
And he paints it on in Goblin also. Weird, thorough.
That, if anything, that seems like bad luck. Now you're making me nervous.
the ship with 3 names is finally boarded by all 4 members of Team Touchy.
Egg crawls into the lower deck as far as he can get down low and just starts inhaling his bottle of liquor.
Yeah. Okay. Give me your vehicle proficiency check to get out of this city's
Do it with
harbor.
guidance.
Okay. Darby, you find yourself at home on the ship. Dude, chill out. You have 30 minutes. You have to wait. All right, Darby, you find yourself at home on the ship. That the craft responds to your every beck and call, every whim you could have. It is almost as though, you've never been on any sort of vessel that responded like this one does. It's almost a feather touch, and just whatever you want to have happen happens. Truly, you are experiencing the masterful craftsmanship of a well-versed seafaring people. As you're setting out, you notice that there were several things that you missed in your rudimentary inspection. There appear to be no spare ropes. Your canvas is worn, and you're pretty sure there's no anchor. You're not sure how it slipped through your usually perceptive self, but somehow it did. And so you are now at sea in a wonderful craft that is missing some rather important materials. It isn't long before you eventually see the coastline and thus the treetop port. You know that you will face some difficulty in bringing the ship in to bear. What do you do?
Just gonna beach it instead of going into the port.
Okay. So then, after nearly a full day's travel, you do feel the grind of the sea flower meeting the top of the beach at high tide. Everybody else is probably jostled quite heavily. You have arrived back at the mainland. Snow falls gently. The sea foam on the beach is beginning to frost and freeze over. And actually is already frosted and frozen over in several places. And you can see that there is probably around a foot of snow on the ground where people haven't walked.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and put my winter clothes back on.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Being outside of the protective bubble of the city of Spira, yes, you are once again experiencing the full force of early winter here on Nightfall.
And Darby does not have winter clothes.
Egg will put on
Well,
his
we
winter
have-
clothes as well.
We have plenty
mean-
of cloaks in the hole if you need some.
You also got that blue cloak, that scaled one.
Which he's just been wearing.
Oh, are you wearing it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because I put it on when I got teleported away.
Okay, good to know. All right, so you arrive, there's a snow falling, you hear the occasional distant sounds of thunder. What is the plan now that you have beached yourselves not too far from Treetop Port?
Well, do you want to try to go into Treetop and see if you can score some winter clothes for Darby?
That makes sense. As a first thing we do, I think.
Anything else?
Can we see if we can, like, rent a horse and cart or, like, a bunch of horses or something? Just to make the trip faster? Or
I
is
mean,
that
you
not available?
need to remember that Treetop was kind of devastated recently. Like, remember the upper level burned down. So they're still kind of in the process of rebuilding. They can spare you a single horse and cart.
Do we want to do that or not?
Hmm.
We'll have to like kind of stick to roads if we do, which is maybe a problem.
Sounds like more trouble than it's worth. We have the hole.
We have the whole.
I think it's a matter of travel speed, not carrying capacity.
Yeah, more than anything. Just out of curiosity, how big are the carts? Like, could a bunch of us like actually sit in it or no?
Yeah. It's not a
Oh,
manure
okay.
cart.
First off, rude. That poor thing's probably long dead by now.
Yeah. Would they like let us just take it, or would we have to pay for it? I guess.
You had to pay for it. You could
Yeah,
rent it.
maybe we should just walk then.
I mean, we've been walking this far.
Yeah, exactly. This isn't a huge trip yet.
Okay. So it's evening here. Said you guys can go in. You can buy Darby's winter clothes. I'll just say, where is it? Items, clothing. 2 gold.
Okay.
Now prepared for winter weather. And what next then? Just on your way, going west?
Did we want to spend the night here in Treetop and then start out in the morning?
It's night already, probably.
Well, I mean, we could.
Petalin and
Sorry.
Petalin and Egg would remember that it is about a half day's walk from here to that battlefield. When there wasn't snow on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
We could chill at the tavern, talk to people, see if there's any other things we could do while we're out and about.
Yeah,
AKA
camping
side
in the
quests.
snow is gonna be a pain.
Our favorite thing.
Somebody needs some like gophers killed or something.
Gonna go chase down somebody's chicken.
Bring me the skins of 5 boars.
So am I hearing tavern stop?
Yeah.
Well, we
Okay.
know that Darby needs more liquor.
Yeah, gotta load back up.
Okay. Where are the services in here? Because they're not items. Nope.
Wasn't there a whole like barrel of ale in the pit too?
I think
There
so.
might be. I don't know.
Because Beldam bought
Uh,
one in like a tapping kit.
Yeah,
I
that sounds
think-
familiar.
I think she went through it already.
I don't think so. Unless you guys
What?
traded it for something.
No,
Well,
I
it's-
don't think we did. It only came
Yeah.
up like once.
Well, I'll just go ahead. We'll call it We'll call it a 2/3 full cask of ale. Well, not cask, barrel of ale. With
Because I remember making Udinar carry it.
Well, if you guys want a communal room at the inn, it'll be 8 silver.
oh, we have plenty of that.
If you want private rooms, it's more expensive.
I'll pay.
Are you guys eating?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Drinking?
Meg is not drinking.
Obviously.
No.
Do you want a gallon or a mug?
Couple of mugs, but then Darby would want to like purchase actual bottles to go.
So 8 copper. 3 silver for everybody who's eating. And then if you want good drink, it'll be 10 gold per bottle. If you want something that's more whatever, 5.
3 good bottles.
Okay. All right, and you guys just kind of want to ask around and see what the
What the hubbub is.
general air. So the general gist that you get is that people are adjusting to life with a single elder who gets to make unilateral decisions and kind of basically rules the village. They are still, you can tell they're still vying to become powerful enough to become a township, because they believe that the surrounding areas definitely need it. The only thing that really comes up as like a hey, this is going on is like people are still really concerned that there's no Death Singer. That's probably one of the big things. Let's see, anything else? Supposedly, the people are quite enamored by a recent circus that came in within the last week. They stopped for a day and then were on their way.
Interesting.
But other than that, no.
Does the circus have a name?
He doesn't have a name. Trying to find it. I think I gave it a name. There. Horrible Henrietta's Festive Freak Show.
Not to belabor the point, but like, what was one of the standout acts of it?
Man, you just keep asking. They have some strange beasts that seem to, behave. They make them do tricks.
Sure.
Oh,
Okay.
sure. Oh, sure. They like the strange beasts that can do tricks, but we have follower who can sit and stay, and it's all everybody's up in arms.
Honestly, the reason I ask is like, are we talking about another hag? Are we talking about an abominate, like some weird like thing? Okay. Cool.
The general gist you get is that it was a huge, like maybe like an ogre or cyclops thing, and they made it do tricks, and then they had some other beasties that they had trained to do various things.
Okay. Cool. Just in case we run into them or something. I just want to know.
Some factors came into town recently, but that's like not exactly big news. I suppose the big news with the factors coming into town is that a couple of them were mentioning that they were on their way out to Where is it? Maps. Oh, is this the right? Out
Okay,
to
but
the old ruins of Twin River Valley.
are we sure the Death Singer didn't just run away to join the circus?
Are you saying
that
horrible
backstory
Henrietta
was
is the
already
Death
used.
Singer?
Are those two strumpets at the tavern?
Strumpets.
They are not.
Hmm.
Did you meet them as Darby?
No, it would have been Darby glancing around for someone to hit on.
Hmm. Well, if there's nothing else that grabbed anybody's attention, we can go ahead and. Sound like it. So,
Yeah.
the thunder snow continues throughout the night. In fact, as you wake up in the morning, you find that there is another fresh 6 or so inches of snow on the ground, and the storm is still going. It seems to have gotten much closer as the distant thunder is now almost directly overhead. As you prepare and leave the inn in the morning, you'll see that occasionally the cloudy sky and canopy is lit up by a bright flash of white lightning.
Damn. Okay, I need a GM ruling.
Okay.
Snow is water, essentially. Will water walking allow us to walk on top of snow?
No, because it is snow.
Damn it. I tried, you guys.
It was a valiant effort.
Okay.
Well, actually, you know what? That's my initial reaction. Let me read water walking. Or water walk. Across any liquid surface, such as water, acid. Nope. Hey, read the spell.
No liquid. Yeah, it's not liquid.
No, read the spell.
As if it were solid ground.
Paul, the spell grants the ability to move across any liquid surface, such as water, acid, mud. Do you have the spell
Okay.
open?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. Snow.
Yeah.
It's literally
It's
in
right
there.
there.
So yes, it would work.
So I'll just cast that on us when we go.
Okay.
But because we're doing a long rest here, I'm gonna do mechanically cleric things and prepare some different spells.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
'Cause this is all fucked right now.
Darby, you have dreams of drowning and continue to wake almost every hour on the hour, gagging and choking on your own spit. There is a general sense of how to say this, like you exist in a void with no senses all around you. And each time you wake up, you have that feeling, and then you kind of like snap back into reality, fall back asleep, and rinse repeat all night long. Just before you wake, for the briefest moment, you recall the very last thing of your dream was that you were in a hand outstretched, and then it just kind of like let you go, and you continued to plummet, and then you woke up.
Okay.
Of the group, Darby would likely be cranky this morning. But so long rest completes. You guys head out. The storm's still going. Looks like Udanar has prepared the ability for everybody to simply walk on the top of the snow, which will be great for everybody involved because it means that it's still only a half day to get where you want it to go. Well, it would only last an hour.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it is a decently high level thing that I could waste a
Yeah.
bunch of spell slots on.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm willing to if we need to, but
Do
not
we
great.
need to though?
It's not great. I think we need to if we need to make like an escape or run away. So
Sure.
we could use that as in our like back pocket. But with things
Sounds like-
being safe,
sounds-
we should do normal, I think.
Sounds like a solid idea.
Okay, so normal travel.
Okay. Anything else from anybody?
After that night, Darby would not be wearing the cloak.
No?
He was just testing the waters, but
Okay.
he wouldn't wear it and then have his winter gear on.
Okay. Today, Darby is without his blue scaled cloak.
Now, I think when we first got the bangle, it was saying that, or rather, I mean, my notes are a little bit not as detailed as I would like, but the gnomish tinkerer told us that that similar bangles typically hold the memories of the previous wearers, and then they pass it on to the next person in the bloodline when they put it on after the previous one dies. Does
Mhm.
that match what everybody's thinking? But that was
Sounds
never really
right to me.
confirmed because it looked damaged.
Right to me.
Hmm.
But also, if you were not part of that bloodline, you shouldn't be putting it on.
Right. Just want to make sure that this is okay. Okay, that's all. I just wanted a quick clarification.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
Are you gonna greater restore someone else?
Oh yeah, you were gonna greater restore me at some point.
I mean, I could. Who needs it?
Well, me, because I have I'm down a few points for my max HP.
You're the only one who needs something restored? Okay. Yeah, done.
I'm also
Please?
down, but not that much.
I mean, I could survive without it. It's just
And
No.
Egg is not down any HP.
I just didn't know who all needed it. So yeah, done.
okay.
I'll use it on you.
Cool. Sweet. Guess it doesn't do anything for my eye either, huh?
Well,
Greater
we don't.
restoration does not.
Oh, okay. Here you go.
I think, and you also have to choose what effect happens whenever you use it.
Yeah.
I think. Not a catch-all.
Cool. Thank you.
Anything else?
I'm ready to go, I think.
Egg is ready.
Me too.
All right. So, you make your way out of Treetop through the woods, traveling through the storm. The snow continues to fall, and as you do so, the group is traveling along, and every once in a while, you get the feeling that maybe you're being watched, but due to the sound dampening effects of the snow and the very samey whiteness just like throughout, you never really make out anything. Eventually, there comes a point where where the group is traveling through a very small, short ravine, really like truly small. When Darby and Udinar,
Mhm.
notice that standing at the edge of the cliff appears to be a lone white wolf. It's watching you as you travel through the ravine.
Hmm.
How far is it?
It's above us, I guess.
Like,
Yeah,
it's pretty
just-
noticeable?
Yeah. Like you and Darby only just noticed it.
Gotcha.
Mostly because the black tip of its nose and its eyes. The others definitely wouldn't have seen it yet.
Okay, in that case, I'll point it out at them and just say we're being watched.
How do you point it out?
You know what? I'm not secretive about it. I point at it and say we're being watched to the group in like a normal voice.
Okay. As Udanar points to the wolf and Egg and Petalina get their first look, it lets out a low, keening howl that just seems to just get eaten up by that sound dampening effect of the snow falling, the snow on the ground. And so it's the only sound that can be heard, but you can tell it just doesn't travel very far. And as it does so, you begin to notice that there is more than just the one you saw. It appears there are many. Up here in just a moment. Everybody. And
Man, this place does awesome maps.
yes, they do.
Damn.
Oh shit.
Okay. And as I have already rolled everybody's initiative, it seems as though Darby can act first. But here, we're going to take our 10-minute break and feed our animals and do all that stuff.
Very wise.
Nice.
So we'll be back in
Uh,
10. Mm.
How high are these walls so I could take out my turn?
Like 12 feet.
Ah, okay.
Well, so the right side would be like 12 feet. The left side looks like it's about maybe 20. Like between
Okay.
15 and 20.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Be back in 10.
Oh my god.